Can you hear me now? There we go. There we go. I was about to start blaming everything again on Nicole Kessinger. I'm like, oh my God, did Nicole Kessinger turn off my microphone? I don't know why it's doing this, you guys. Can you hear me now? 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 I'm starting to sound like I'm selling Verizon on my live stream. Isn't that crazy? But you can hear me now though, right? Okay, good, good, good. Yay. Okay, so for the first 2 seconds you guys didn't hear my singing. I'm so sad. You guys did not hear my singing. I was like, what did I even say? I'm like, welcome to my live stream. Welcome. Welcome. Thank you guys so much for being here. It has been so brutal lately. I do hope I see the sound working now, so I hope it's working. It's just one of those other things that I just have to worry about. First of all, it's YouTube suppressing my channel, and then second is Nicole Kessinger trying to turn off my microphone. Exactly, Scott. Soundgate. Yeah. We've had all kinds of gates on this channel now, haven't we? Now we also have YouTube Gate. YouTube Gate, was the other one? Wrench Gate, and now we have Soundgate. And all of it, again, let's just go ahead and blame Nicole Kessinger for all of it. She Nicole Kessinger and Sasquatch. Yeah, let's just go ahead and just keep blaming the same people over and over. I wouldn't be surprised if Nicole Kessinger is actually working for YouTube and she's the one that is actively suppressing my channel. I would not be surprised. It is possible. It is possible that she is working for YouTube because, you can definitely work for them remotely. All right, guys. Well, welcome, welcome. We're gonna be watching some more Veroscope today because, as you guys know, we are filming a documentary, and that documentary is definitely it's stepping up, right? Not stepping up, but the all of it, right? The research, the filming, the being out there, all of it has increased over the past just month, right? The entire month of August has been really, really busy with the documentary. And so because of that, I really want to go back to listening to some of the stuff that Chris Watts says. Especially when it comes to Survey 319, because I am currently researching Survey 319. More specifically, researching why Chris Watts put his daughters into two separate tanks. What do you guys think? I really want to ask all of you this because I think it's one of the things that I've always wondered about is why did Chris choose to put Bella and Cece into separate tanks? I used to think it was because he is just such an evil and vile monster that he wanted to separate his family, and he wanted to put Shanann as far away as possible from her girls. But the more I look into this case, the more I've learned about Chris Watts over the past year. I really don't think that Chris did it for those reasons. One, because, well, the first reason is because he's a dumbass, right? He's such an idiot. Chris Watts is just an absolute moron. And I really don't see him thinking this through in a way where, oh, he's going to put Shanann really far away just to separate her in death from, Bella and Cece. I just don't really see it. I really think that there is a bigger reason for that. And I believe that it was, in part due to the tanks and the well system and how it could have maybe, right, potentially sent a signal over to the Anadarko employees, whoever is in charge of the health and safety of the wells. So I thought maybe, is it possible that he put his two girls into separate tanks because he was trying to keep the sensors from sensing any slight differences in those tanks? What do you guys think? Sensors on the tanks. Yes, yes, yes. So there's a lot that I've been looking into, you guys, and my goodness, um, I've been getting so much help from you all. So thank you guys so, so much for all of the help on the research. I am glad that I found my people. We are all as obsessed with this case as I am. And so I love that we can brainstorm and share ideas here. So first question. First question. Let's go ahead and ask you guys. I want to start a poll. What do you guys think? Now, I know, right? There's so many important things here. Right? We looked it up. There's no sensors. And you are right about that, except with one minor little thing, right? There aren't sensors on the actual wells, but there are sensors, guys. The thing is that these things, although there isn't any actual electricity out at Survey, there is still power because a lot of these things are actually powered by solar panels, right? I mean, you can still power a lot of things with solar panels. And the thing is that the wells themselves aren't powered by solar panels. I mean, of course, you can't really power an entire, well system with just a tiny little solar panel, but the things that those solar panels are powering are things that can sense changes in the well. So there definitely is power out there, and it is because of solar panels. So I just want to ask you all, why do you think that Chris put his two daughters into separate oil tanks? Do we think he was just being petty? He really wanted to separate Shanann, Bella, and Cece in death? Or do we think that there's something operational about it? Again, right? If we are to believe that Nicole Kessinger was the mastermind in all of this, I think that there is a better reason for him, not even better, but I think that there is a more nefarious reason for him putting the girls into two separate tanks. But again, I just want to hear what you guys think. You guys let me know what you think. Okay, so the question is going to be, why do you think Chris Watts put his girls into two separate tanks? Again, I'm a firm believer that Nicole Kessinger created, or she's the one who planned this, the mastermind and the evil genius behind all of this. And so if she's also the one planning where Chris is going to dump his family, I think that she put a lot of thought into this, and she probably made sure that these tanks are not going to notify somebody that there are changes in it. Right? Again, this is just me. Again, guys, this is just me. This is what I do when I'm not live streaming. I'm thinking about this case constantly, constantly. I mean, I dream about this. All right. Why do you think? Why do you think? Okay. So Chris was being petty, right? That's the one thing. That's what I believe. I used to believe that. I don't believe that any longer. Chris was being petty. And Kay planned for operational reasons. Okay. And now again, operational reasons meaning there is a reason why he put them into two separate tanks, and that is to not give off some type of notification or something that there's something going on with the tanks. On top of that, as we remember, there was a water tank that showed up on the 14th of August. On the 14th. How is that possible, right? Is it coincidental? Or is this all operational and because Nicole Kessinger did it? We don't know, right? We don't know, but I want to ask. It was planned for operational reasons. Okay, what would be the other reason? What do you guys think? What is the other reason? What do you guys think? What would be another reason for Chris to put his girls into two separate tanks? I never bought into he wanted to separate them in Death Rumor. Oh, really, Josie? Oh, okay. Yeah, I did at first because, again, just looking into this case, I'm wondering, I'm like, why would this guy do this? Because it makes you think, right? It would be a lot harder to put girls into two separate tanks. It would be actually a lot easier to just put them into one tank, right? I mean, you save time and you save any gases from leaving the tank, any sensors notifying people, right? I always thought it would be a lot easier to put girls into just one tank than doing it into two separate ones. What is the other one? Two different people. Oh, two different people putting them in. Interesting. Okay. Two different people putting them in. Okay. That's it. Yeah, that's a good one. I never even thought of that. Never even thought of that. Okay, what is the other one? Yeah, exactly. Yes. Yeah, they would yep. Two different people. Okay, so two different people. Yes, they would decompose faster. And that's why putting them into tanks would lead to faster decomposition. But still, right? Like, why would he put them into two separate tanks, though? You can put the girls in the same tank, and they're still going to decompose in the same oil. But I've always wondered, why two separate ones? Maybe because it caused volatility. Oh, right, right. Oh, I leaned towards two different people, too. Interesting. Interesting. See, you guys, I've never even thought of that. Never even gave that a thought. It didn't even cross my mind until you guys are saying it now. See, this is man, this is why I love doing this. You know, if it was just me, I'd still be stuck on like the first series of Nicole Kessinger. I'd still be wondering, what does Nicole Kessinger mean by this? You know, I get so stuck. Okay, I bet there are sensors. Yes, there are. You would have to leave the hatch open for longer with two people. It is dangerous. Very good point. I bet there are sensors for oil and liquid levels. Yes, Boops, I agree with you. To spread the crime scene. Interesting. I love that one. I like that one. GT, okay. To spread the crime scene. Oh, you guys are so amazing. Okay, let's go ahead and do this. Let's go ahead and do this. Okay. Oh man. As you can tell, I'm in a very good mood today. Very good mood. Although YouTube is still sucks ass, right? YouTube is still terrible. But I'm in a very good mood. You gotta is water off a duck's back. You know, you kind of have to just get over it for the day and then just keep trekking, right? Keep pushing forward. My life has never been easy, so of course this is not. I don't know why I was expecting YouTube is going to be easy. I mean, it's not. I never expected YouTube to be easy, but I also didn't expect it to be this absolutely atrocious with their changes. But again, my life hasn't always been easy, so it's okay. We'll get through this just as I've gotten through a lot of other crazy shit in my life. And thank you guys so much for being here. Okay. Like two graves, you don't put people into one. I like that. I do like that, Valerie. I understand that logic. Yeah, I do get it. Yeah, you wouldn't just put. Yeah, I get it. I see that. Yeah, we'll be okay. We'll be okay, guys. Even if I have to sell, corn. Not I mean actual corns, like God. See, this is what happens when you use other words for other things. I mean actual, like corn on the street, right? Like the people that sell corn on the cob, and they're like, "Here you go. You want some corn or some coconuts or something?" Who knows, right? I can probably just sell like fruits on the street or something to to get by. Oh, goodness. I mean, imagine, right? Imagine if I said, "Okay, guys, now I'm gonna go play some Twister," and I actually do want to play Twister the game, and all of y'all are gonna think, "Oh my god, what is Rox into?" No. See, that's what happens. Oh man. See, that's what happens. Is that a Freudian slip? Oh man. Yeah, I mean actual corn, y'all. Get your heads out of the gutter. No. No, guys, no, never. I would never. Like I said, I would rather I'll sell my cat's feet pics before I do any of that shit. That's not happening, you guys. All right? Again, don't get any ideas. I'll sell you guys fruits and vegetables, but that's about it. And some cat feet pics, all right? If you guys, if you guys are down for that, I don't know. To each their own, right? Whatever floats your boat. Yeah, corn on the cob. Yes, I should just start saying corn on cob. Does your feet Oh goodness, no. What the fuck kind of questions are those, guys? Yes, I did. I had a Veroscope analysis. Yes, we're gonna hear it. We're gonna hear it. We are gonna hear it. Yes, GT. Patience. Patience is a virtue. All right, guys. Yes, yes, yes. We'll get there. We'll get there, you guys. I love cat beans. All right. So, why do you think that Chris Watts put his two girls into separate tanks? Look at this. 38% of you think it's two different people. Interesting. Interesting. Chris Watts was being petty has 0%. Oh, wow. NK planned for operational reasons has 31%. And then to spread the crime scene has 29. Okay. All right, guys. That is amazing. Okay. Well, yes, let's go ahead. Let's go ahead. I love seeing what you guys think. Let's go ahead and dive into some Veroscope analysis. Again, one of my favorite channels. I absolutely love Veroscope. Go ahead and give him a thumbs up, Please, please, please. Such a good job analyzing the lies of these 2 people. Of course, there are other liars, on the channel, so if you definitely wanna go check it out, he does an amazing job. Alright, guys, let's go ahead and dive into our Veroscope analysis.
Welcome back to the Veroscope report of Chris Watts, and we're continuing on at point number 11 and the washing machines.
Yes, we're gonna be talking about the point where Chris Watts is lying to the police. He's just standing there pointing. He's like, "Oh, I got this, I got that, I got the other." Okay, so we're gonna be listening to that, and we're gonna be listening to when he talks about Survey 319.
So, for some reason, Chris Watts decides to talk about washing machines. While the officers were walking through the house, the washing machines were running. Nobody asked him why, but out of his own mouth, unprompted, he says, like most of the time when she does that, she'll want to wash sheets the next day
Yep.
to get the airport off. That's the only thing I can think of. Washing machines, they were still on it. So isn't that unusual linguistics? Here he is, and we're going to watch him being questioned
Pathetic.
by the police. And this is one of the very first interviews before the famous doorstep television interviews, which we've interviewed in the previous Veroscope analysis. So we're going
Mhm.
to be going into some deeper forensic linguistic detail now. So if you've heard this bit before, we're just going to play it again and catch up. We haven't got long to go, only about 10 minutes, and then we'll dive back into the analysis.
I think it
Yes.
was, so it would be, I went back to work on the 8th, so we got back on the 7th.
Okay.
And then she left for Arizona on Friday and got back last night.
His face.
So if you're new to the Veroscope channel, and you might be, we use forensic linguistics and statement analysis and look at their words that they use and how they construct the sentences. So sometimes they'll make errors, and we look for those and we put a little flag in which we call a deceptive marker or a deception flag.
Mhm.
And for each one, they gradually build up sometimes and create clusters or even superclusters. And then we might look mathematically if it looks suspicious, we might then look at it mathematically and see, do the different types of words change at different parts of the statement?
I love the way that he does this, right? Because we're not just looking at people's behaviors. I mean, they're using real science here, right? They're mathematically figuring out whether something is a lie or not based on their like the words that they use and their body language, and it's just so amazing. I would really love to see a textbook on this. I just love learning about this kind of stuff.
And has the language changed from their baseline? And we can measure these sorts of things and get an indication as to whether or not somebody's lying to you. And here's the great thing, it doesn't take too long to learn. So suddenly, with perhaps, I don't know, 7 or 8 Veroscope videos,
Yep.
your own WhatsApps and your own emails begin to look differently.
Yeah, don't they?
Well, suddenly you'll see deception in communications when the decorator emails you on Monday morning and tells you that they're running a bit late because they're on another job. They might give themselves away. So that's the advantage of learning to detect deception in communications. But also, more importantly,
Yeah, have you guys ever had somebody I mean, I used to do this a lot too, though, right? When I worked retail sometimes, as a manager, there was like so many things I was doing. And I would like show up late sometimes and I'd be like, "Yeah, sorry, I got caught in traffic." And it's just so obvious, when you're lying or when someone's lying to you, it's so obvious that they're telling you, "Oh, yeah, you got caught in traffic," but their body gives them away. It's like a lot of that used to happen. And it's a lot harder, I think, to detect via email. But if you have an employee or you yourself are an employee, and you're telling your boss or something, "Oh, yeah, I got stuck in traffic." It is just to me, it's so obvious when someone's lying, right? Or when, someone would call in and they're like, "I'm sick." I'm like, "Oh, okay. I mean, sure, whatever." But it was always so obvious when they lied about it.
how to detect authenticity and credibility and possibly even truth in communications. So it's a bilateral system. It's not just to detect deception, it's also to detect that authentic language. So let's carry on and see what deception markers you find in his own language.
And she had the kids with her last night?
Yes.
Or you had the kids?
Oh, I had the kids like all weekend.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, I had the kids like all weekend, he says. Like all weekend. Let's go ahead and pull up the calendar real quick. It's calendar time. Let's go ahead and look. Okay, so yes. Again, right? Look at the way that he's moving though. He's like, yeah, I had them like all weekend. And he did. He did have them like all weekend. I mean, he had them all weekend because Shanann was gone, right? She was in Arizona. And so he's talking about having them all weekend, yet his body is kind of giving something away. It's very different from what Nicole Kessinger does. When Nicole Kessinger goes on a a lying spree, when she is setting down and really getting into her narrative, she goes into storytelling mode. She's like, "Oh yeah, well I met him here and then I went there. It's not like I saw him every single day, but sometimes when I saw him, I would say hi to him and then we would talk and then blah blah blah." And then when she is asked something that is so matter of fact, like, "Okay, so what's your name?" She goes, Nicole Kessinger. Okay, where do you work? Anadarko Petroleum Corporation. And then Kevin will ask her, okay, so yeah, continue with your storytelling. And she goes, okay, well, anyway, yeah, so I would see him down the street and then we kind of started talking. Right? There is a change in her behavior that I noticed with Nicole Kessinger. And that is something that I'm noticing with Chris. But the thing is that his behavior is saying the opposite. So this is interesting. Do you guys see that? He's saying the truth, but his body is telling us that he's not. So what do we think about that? Is he actually telling the truth or is he lying? We don't know, right? His baseline, I will say, is definitely different, right? He has a different baseline than Nicole Kessinger.
Language. So let's carry on and see what deception markers you find in his own language.
And she had the kids with her last night?
Yes.
Or you had the kids?
Oh, I had the kids like all weekend.
Okay.
Yeah. They went to a birthday party yesterday over at a friend's house down the street.
And then, is someone sleeping in the basement?
I did it.
Do you guys think that's why it is then? Boops. I think the girls were gone. Here, sorry, where did it go? Where did it go? I think the girls were gone before Shanann asked for the picture of the girls that night. He didn't send a picture because he couldn't. What do you guys think? Okay, this is such a good question. Oh my goodness. See, this is why we're doing this. Do you think that he is lying right now? The way that he's moving, he's going like this. Is it because he knows that he murdered his children on the day of? Or is it because he had already murdered his children on the 12th? What do you guys think? Do we think that he's doing that weirdness because they were already gone? What do you guys think? He sure bites his lip a lot. He does. Yeah, he's shitting his pants. Exactly, Janet. Yeah. Jerry, yeah, he's biting his lips. But again, Bella woke back up. Huh. So you think Cece, okay, so you guys think Cece was gone first. He didn't mention the babysitter. You're right, he didn't. Huh. So what do you guys think? Okay, let's go ahead and ask the question. Let's go ahead and ask the question. Where are we at? We have 72 votes in 73. Okay, why do you think Chris Watts put his girls into two separate tanks? And it looks like the majority of you say two different people. Huh. How? Wait, how? So, wait, do we think that Chris and Nicole or Chris and who? That is interesting. Oh, look at this. Okay, NK planned it for operational reasons. Okay, so we're kind of neck and neck right now. Two different people, and then NK planned for operational reasons are back to back. Oh, look, and it's tied now. Okay. I'm gonna leave it up. I see that a lot of people are still voting. So I'm just gonna write down the question. And the question was, what do we think about the girls? Why is he fidgety? And is it because we think that he had already murdered Bella and Cece on Sunday? Okay, so why is Chris Watts fidgety? Okay, and then the question is going to be murdered, right? So did he murder them on Sunday? Huh. Lots of good questions. And he never speaks of anything Cece did or say when he does mention Bella. Right. You guys, yeah, we've definitely noticed a pattern here. I notice the same pattern when I'm listening to Chris Watts and where he's talking to the investigators in prison. I've noticed the things that he says, and he really does put a lot of attention on Bella, but he doesn't really talk about Cece. All he says is, "Oh, Cece was first." Okay, and then what? Right? Details. I want more details other than just Cece was first. Okay? All right, guys, let's continue.
A few times the separation thing, I just struck.
How recently?
Probably about 2 nights ago, 3 nights. Well, when she was here, so probably last time was Thursday night, Friday.
Okay. And then your kids, do they sleep in their own beds or do they sleep with you guys?
Those two adjacent rooms, they connect to that bathroom.
You're lucky.
I'll go right in your room now.
Wearing sheets and stuff are off in the master bedroom.
No, they so like when she got back from the airport last night, usually like she just jumped in the bed. So, like most of the time when she does that, she'll want to wash the sheets the next day to get the airport off them since she just came off the airport.
Okay.
That's the only thing I can think of.
But they were still on it when
Oh
she
yeah,
was
she was
when
in
you
bed.
left.
Yeah.
So you were in that bed last night?
Yeah. I was up there because the monitor and stuff was up there. I was waiting for.
So are you catching it all? The self-censorship, the reasons why, the
Yeah.
sensitivity on the sheets.
Yes. Why is he doing this? I'm still so stuck on the sheets, you guys. I'm so stuck on why. Why is he talking about the sheets still?
Back home.
And then she works from home? Is that right?
Yes, direct sales.
Okay.
So she works from phone, anything, the computer.
And then is that the office she uses for work?
Oh, she can do anywhere in here. She can sit on the couch and do it.
Oh, okay. She doesn't have like a designated area.
No.
All right.
She can go anywhere.
I see the Veriscope colours have entered the room to see his guilt.
And you can't think of anywhere she'd want to
Purple.
go? She go for walks around here?
No, I go for runs. She doesn't really do anything as far as going for walks or anything.
And you've talked to all the friends you guys have around the area? And then what?
He's just standing there waiting for help, right? Or waiting for questions. He even looks over at the other officer. He's like, "Any more questions? No? Do you have any questions for me? Do you have any questions for me, sir?" All right, I'm just gonna stand here and do this then. Goodness. Okay. Rehearsed but badly acted. Yes. The sheets were in the trash. Okay. All right. I think let's go ahead and ask the question. We have 82 votes now. Okay. The question is going to be, and I do want to go back to this one, but man, I don't even know if I should do it first or second. I want to know, I do want to know which two different people do y'all think that helped Chris the morning of at Survey 319? Because 35% of you said that you think two different people put Bella and Cece into these tanks. So who? Here, let's just go ahead and do it. Let's go ahead and ask that question since we're already on the topic. Okay. Who and how? Again, right? These are very important because again, there's a lot of research going into this. And so I want to be as accurate as possible with what we think happened at Survey 319. What is the more logical thing that happened at Survey so that then we can test these theories? So who do we think put Bella and Cece into the tanks? Who do we think put Bella and Cece into the tanks? All right. Okay. NK and Chris Watts. Okay, I know that this one has been brought up before, right? NK and Jim. Do we think it's Chris Watts and Jim? Or who else? Who else? It couldn't be an NK because she was Chris's house. Yeah, exactly, exactly. Which is why I don't think it was NK. Or was it just Chris? Which I do believe it was just Chris. Okay, but you guys let me know. Why do we think, or who, right? Who do we think put Bella and Cece into the tanks? All right, guys. Let me know. What do you guys think? Okay. Question is, who do we think put Bella and Celeste into the tanks? NK and Chris Watts, NK and Jim, Chris Watts and Jim, or just Chris? NK and, NK and Sasquatch? NK is Sasquatch. Man, or maybe her cousin, right? NK and her cousin.
We didn't tell you to do this to your fucking family.
Right? Or whatever that voice is. Goodness, she sounds like machinery, doesn't she? That lady, right? Drunk Nicole Kassinger, or the Nicole Kassinger that just became a chain smoker.
We didn't tell you to do any of those things to your fucking family, guys. We didn't say any of that shit.
Right? I mean, goodness, what happened to her? I mean, she's definitely going through some stuff, isn't she? I think it's finally getting to her. Who knows? She's probably wishing she was in prison. I think she would have way more freedom in prison than she does now. I mean, Chris, look at him. Chris is getting remarried and whatnot, right? I mean, Chris is living the dream in prison. I think for Nicole Kassinger, may as well, girl, right? Like, just go ahead and turn yourself in. Your life will probably be so much better in prison. Take one for the team, Nikki. Oh my goodness. All right, who is we, right? Who is we? Nicole's cousin says,
We didn't tell you to do this.
why would Nicole's cousin be in the conversation with Chris about the affair and divorce? Exactly. So dumb. All right, guys. You sound like Marge. That's what I thought too. Marge's the twin sisters. I can't remember their names right now. All right, guys, let's continue.
What was the conversation this morning you guys had?
It was about selling the house and separation.
And how'd she take that?
We were both pretty emotional. It was both crying.
And then did you see her before you went to work? Did you say anything to her?
When she went back, she told me she was going to go to her friend's house and be with the kids, take the kids.
So are you hearing that now that you're hearing it again? Is it
Yeah.
clearer? That pattern that you're hearing, and we're going to analyze it in the analysis. But are you hearing it? If you are, and you've been following Veroscope for a while, then you're picking it up. You're
Yeah.
tuning in. He's communicating in two channels. One channel
Yes.
he is consciously avoiding, but there's another channel that is coming out in his words unconsciously.
Yes.
He can't choose them. And you and I are picking them up with our own unconscious or our gut. And where we can tell that they're wrong for the circumstances, it alerts us. And that's one way that we determine deception. The other ways, we use his own conscious words, the
Yeah.
words that he chooses. But that's a different technique altogether. And strangely enough, when communication, both channels, the unconscious and the conscious choice of words, when they're in harmony, that's the truth signal. And when the unconscious mind is selecting those small words that are not in harmony with the truth and don't match the conscious choice, the language begins to break down. we start to hear and feel and see a change in the language from the
Yeah.
person's baseline at a certain point in the statement,
Yep.
which we can learn where that is. And then at that point in the statement, we also see a mathematical anomaly of a change in the language from the pronouns, the tenses, the causal words, the additive words, the temporal words. They change mathematically at the point in the statement where the deception is. And so for the first time, we have a breakthrough in science where we can measure the deceptions and lies and
Yes.
put a number on it, and
Yes.
where the analysts themselves can now compare those numbers to their own analysis and see where they match, and also see where sometimes they've missed something and they go, ah, yes, look, here's a supercluster. And so the superclusters can be, in the old days, they would mark up the document with a pen and a highlighter and some notes on the side, and then with the computers the same thing. But it creates the visual clusters, and it can now be correlated to the maths of which is much harder and slower to work out. So you just ask a piece of software or use a Casio calculator, but they correlate. That's the wonderful thing. So that's the end of today's science lesson. Let's get on with the video.
Oh, wow. Okay. Yeah. So I love that you can see it, you can visualize it, right? It's almost, of course, it's nothing like it. This is just my own example of how I interpreted what he just said. So it's almost like a polygraph where you can see certain signals, right? Now, again, the polygraph is completely different. It's signaling, changes in, your physiology, right? So your sweat glands, even if you're moving too much, if you're anxious, stuff like that. But you can visualize when somebody's lying using a lie detector test, right? Like you can see something on a sheet of paper, and that is what he's describing. That using science and using math, you can actually visualize and compare when someone is lying versus when someone isn't lying, which is amazing, especially for people like Nicole Kessinger, because she lies constantly. And then we are actually able to see the changes in her body language. So it's not even just what she's saying, it's her own body language that we can see. And I think that is why we have been able to tell that she was lying without even the science. The things we don't even need the science to tell that these people are lying. But now the science only verifies it, right? The science only makes it that much more clear that they're lying. And that is what I love, because now you can use science to prove that these two knuckleheads have been lying the whole time. All right, guys. Chris has no emotional intelligence. I agree. I mean, the man is saying, I was very emotional. He says, I'm so emotional. Yet he's standing there like a robot without a single tear. He hasn't cried, not once, and he's saying, I was so emotional. Oh, really? Well, show us the emotion then, because I don't see it. All right, who do we think put Bella and Celeste into the tanks? Look at that, just Chris. 62% of us think just Chris. Okay, so that's interesting, because the previous poll told us that the majority believed that it was two people. And now the majority think it was just Chris. Okay, so... okay, maybe we just had more people enter the chat. Maybe we just had more people. That could be the thing that is skewing the numbers a little bit. Yeah, because now the majority think it's just Chris. But hold on, but didn't the majority of you said it was two people? Okay, who do we think? So Nicole and Chris. Okay, so the majority of you who said yes, two people. Were you also thinking it's Nicole and Chris? I think that's probably where we're seeing this, right? NK and Jim, 10%. And then we have Chris Watson, Jim. Interesting, at 13%. Huh. Okay. I voted wrong the first time. Oh, okay. Okay. I changed my mind. Okay. After, okay. Hey, I love it. See, this is why we do polls because I want to see what you guys think, and then I love the visual of it, right? We can see what the chat thinks. Okay, so just Chris still. NK was talking him into to do it. NK was talking him to do it. Yes, right. Just Chris, both polls. Okay, just Chris, in my opinion. All right. Okay, let's continue. I'm gonna leave it up for a little bit, and then we're gonna switch the question here in a few minutes. All right, guys, let's continue.
With her.
Oh, she told you she was taking the kids to
Yeah.
a friend's house.
Yeah.
She didn't say who though.
Oh no. No, but she was still in bed when that happened.
And this was after the conversation?
Yeah, it was between like 4 and 5 a.m. I woke up about 4 o'clock.
What time did she get home?
1:48.
So did you guys sleep for a little while?
Yeah, look at how he knew the exact time that Shanann got home. 1:48. Why is that? Why does he know the exact time? Isn't that interesting? Isn't that interesting? He knows the exact time that Shanann walked in the door, okay? Now, this is something that I've noticed with Chris. He knows exact dates and exact times and exact measurements and exact weights. He was also asked about his girls and how much they weigh. How is that, Chris, just off the top of his head, he knows exactly how much they measure and how much they weigh? Very interesting. He also knows that Shanann walked in at 1:48 a.m. I think it's because he was watching. He was waiting. He was stalking her like a predator, like the predator that he is. He waited and he's like, oh, she's home. It's 1:48. And so I also think that he let Nicole Kessinger know, oh, she's home. It's 1:48. Because he also knows a lot of other things. It's so interesting. He's very precise. I mean, he's correct. Look at it. 1:48. He's right. He didn't say 2 a.m. He didn't say, oh, closer to 2. Oh, 15 minutes till, he didn't say that. He said 1:48. And he also knows how much his girls weigh and how much they measured. This is another reason that we're watching this is because I want to know why he knows how much Bella weighed and how much she measured and how much Cece weighed and how much and how how tall she was. Why does he know that? How does he know that? It's not like he was going to any of these doctor's appointments with Shanann. It's not like he went to a doctor's appointment for one of the girls' physicals and he's there and he's like, oh, okay, how much does my daughter weigh? Oh, okay, now I know. How does he know?
Oh, and then
Oh yeah, like I was passed out when she got home.
did you wake her up?
Yeah, when I got up.
And that's when you discussed
Yeah.
the
Yeah,
issue?
because I didn't want to do it like over a text or over a phone call. I wanted to be face to face with her.
See, he's lying. He just contradicted himself. Let's go ahead and listen to that again. He says, oh, when I woke up. Bullshit. So then how does the man know that she came home at 1:48? Unless, let's go ahead and give him the benefit of the doubt. Unless he was asleep and then he wakes up, right? He's like asleep. He's like, he wakes up and he's like, oh gosh, Shanann's here. And then he did the deed, right? He murdered his whole family. And then he goes back and check. He's like, okay, I need to make sure exactly the time that Shanann got here because what if I get asked? And then now he has memorized it, right? What do we think? Is it that? Or is it that the man waited for Shanann to get home? And that's how he knows that she got home at 1:48. Lots of questions, guys. I have tons of questions for you all. So many questions. Okay, who do we think put Bella and CC into the tanks? Look at that, 90 votes in, just Chris. 61% of you think just Chris. But the other one is NK and Chris Watts. Okay, hey. I don't think it was Nicole Kessinger, though, because, again, right, look in the calendar, we can see that, well, who turned off the phone then? If Nicole Kessinger, if we believe that Nicole Kessinger was at the house, then she can't also be at Survey 319 helping Chris, right? So that is kind of where I do also go back and forth, you guys. I do go back and forth. Okay, next question. Since we're already on the topic. Why do you think Chris Watts knows the exact, okay, this is exact, right? Exact height and weight of his two girls when asked during the interrogation? How? Why? Why does he know? What do we think? Do we think that he weighed them? This is what I believe. He weighed them for the tanks. Okay, so he weighed them for the tanks. He just knows, right? Oh, he's so attentive. He's just such an attentive father. He just knows everything. Again, we have to remember Chris claims to have photographic memory. And a lot of the evidence does point to him having photographic memory. So to me, it's very interesting when he doesn't remember something because he has photographic memory. And then when he does say something that does match, I also wonder, how does he know this so clearly and so well? And how does he remember it? Okay, what else do we think? What else? A lot of parents know the height and weight at that age since they have and need to know the weight to give medications. Yes, imagine. Yes, I definitely get that. I definitely get that. Okay, so question for all of the parents in the chat. Do all of you know the exact height and weight of your child currently? If you were asked, if anybody stopped you on the street and they're like, "Hey, what is the weight of your 3 children?" Are you able to just spit it out? "Oh yeah, Jimmy is 5'2" and he weighs 160 pounds, and so is 3'4" and he weighs this many pounds. Do you know that? And the second question is, yes, I definitely understand that a lot of parents know the height and weight of their children because of frequent pediatrician appointments. And that is why I made the point to say, is it because Chris has been going to all of their appointments? Is it because Chris is just so attentive and he's been going to every single one of the girls' physical appointments? As we know, he hadn't, right? He hadn't. He had not been to any of anything. He even missed out on one of Shanann's ultrasounds. So, do we believe that he is attentive with his kids and that he was there at every single doctor's appointment? No, I don't. Because if the man didn't even show up for the ultrasound, there is no way on earth that he's taking his kids to the doctors where he knows their heights and weight. Okay, so again, that is how I think about this. So you guys let me know. Yeah, he just knows because he's an attentive father. Okay, so that's gonna be the other one, okay? See, I knew how much Mr. B weighed in the first appointment I took him to, and then the second appointment, he had already gained a few more pounds. So I'm like, oh shit, maybe he's just eating too much. But still, I don't know how much he weighs right now. Okay. What else? What else? YouTube just changed my comment. YouTube is on crack. Okay, I think Twats did go before NK Forrester weighed in. Okay, he would repeat things he heard from investigators too. Okay, do you think he maybe just repeated things? I know all my daughter's height and weight. I don't think Chris Watts knows you as a parent. Exactly, Jessica. I don't think so either. Okay, what is another reason he might know? No, he gives an exact weight, not an estimate. V-Bug, yeah, he does give an exact weight, not really an estimate. He doesn't say, oh, I think. He says, this is how tall they were. And yeah, again, we can definitely pull those things up, which, I will have to look it up. But he does it in the interrogation. Okay, so he weighed them from the tanks. He just knows because he's an attentive father. What could be another reason? Right, what could be another reason? He took them... He took them to the doctors recently. That's how he knows, right? Is to go ahead and give him the benefit of the doubt. Okay, so he took them to the doctors. It doesn't let me put everything because I ran out of characters. And Shanann probably told him, oh, that's a good one. See, that's a good one. Imagine. Love it. Okay, Shanann probably told him and you think he remembered? Shanann told him and he remembered? That's kind of weird, though. Hold on. That's kind of weird. Why would Shanann be like, oh, okay, you need to give him this much, you need to give him this exact amount of medication because Bella weighs this much and her height is this. I don't know. Maybe, maybe I'm just, there's something where my brain isn't connecting the two. But to me, I think it's kind of weird. You guys let me know. Let's go ahead and start the poll. Disney World stats. Yeah. Yeah. Did he take him to Disney World? He weighed them before he lifted them for his workouts. Oh, that's a good one too. Josie, that's actually a really good one. Yeah, what if he's weighing them, right? Because he's trying to do his bicep curls. So he's like, okay, I need like 15 pounds. Brr. Brr. So he's just weighing his kids to see how many curls he needs to do with a child. Just for common parents conversation. Yeah. Again, guys, I love your perspective because you guys are parents. I am just a cat mom. I'm a cat mom. Whenever I have these conversations with other cat parents, all we do is share photos. Okay. That is how crazy cat moms are. We're like, oh my God, you want to see my baby? And I'm over here, I'm like, oh my God, look at my child. And then I'm just showing people photos of my children, right? I'm like, oh, look at him. Oh, he's my firstborn. Isn't he so adorable? That is how it works for cat moms. Cat parents, I should say. Because there's a lot of cat dads out there too that are, they're like, oh, you want to see my baby though? All right. And we're over here comparing children. Cat children. Yeah, so you guys let me know. An oil tank expert was on the other channel and said that there was no alarm in the tanks and that any weight would have set off. So that's not the reason he would weigh them before the murders. Right. Yes. The oil tank expert. Right. The oil tank expert. I definitely really want to ask this oil tank experts what I have seen with my own eyes. Because I definitely have questions about those oil tanks and all of the interesting little gadgets that are attached to it that are then attached to a solar panel, that there's obviously something being censored, right? Or not censored. Obviously something is connected to something. Okay? So because there are solar panels attached to a lot of these things. Exactly. Yeah. So how did the sensors not go up? These are all questions that we have. I don't know. I hate to call him an attentive father, though. Oh, yeah, right. All right, look at this. He weighed them for the tanks 52%. 17% said he just knows because he's an attentive father. 2% said he took him to the doctors. I don't know why. That just made me laugh. I can't even imagine Chris taking them to the doctors. And then Shanann told him, and he remembered. Okay. Oh, you're a tadpole mom? Oh, Susie. That's cute. I like tadpoles. Not Chris, though. All right, guys. Let's go ahead and continue. Such good questions. I love the conversations that we're having. All right, guys. Let's continue.
So did you guys sleep for a little while and then?
Oh yeah, like I was passed out when she got home.
And then did you wake her up?
Yeah, when I got up.
And that's when you discussed
Yeah,
the
because
issue?
I didn't want to do it like over a text or over a phone call. I wanted to be face to face with her.
How long did that conversation last?
Probably like 30, 45 minutes.
And then you went to work?
I left about 5:15, 5:30, probably in that time frame.
And then she said she
I left around 5:15, 5:30, somewhere in that time frame. You know what I have noticed? You want to know what I have noticed? Again, right? Call me crazy, call me obsessed, call me delusional, call me whatever you want. You know what I've noticed? Chris Watts used to call Nicole Kessinger every single morning between 5:15 and 5:30. Now, I don't know if there's a connection to that, but I do find it really interesting that Chris just said, I left around 5:15, 5:30 every morning. And then he also calls Nicole Kessinger at 5:15 and 5:30 exactly every single morning. Now, again, I don't know if this is part of the planning. I don't know if this is Chris timing himself and then calling Nicole to let her know, hey, this is the exact time I'm going to leave on that day. But again, I do find it suspicious. Let's go ahead and listen to that again.
Probably like 30, 45 minutes. I didn't want to do it like over a text or over a phone call. I wanted to be face to face with her.
How long did that conversation last?
Probably like 30, 45 minutes.
And then you went to work?
I left about 5:15, 5:30, probably in that time frame.
I left around 5:15, 5:30, somewhere in that time frame. Shut up, Chris. All right, let's go ahead and see this. Look. Now, It's not exact all the time. I'm making a video on it, so you guys will see it. But look at this. Look at this. Okay. Fuck you guys. This is so crazy. Okay. Okay, this one happened at 5:01. This one also happened at 5:01. This one happened at 5:30, at 5:50. And then we see 5:16, 5:30, 5:15, 5:15, 5:30, 5:15, 5:29, 5:30, 5:30. This is crazy, y'all. Like, what the fuck? Look, this is in the PM. This is in the AM. 5:30. See, these are things that I noticed. Oh, look at this one. This is the only one. I will say this is the only one that came in at 4:58. So very close to 5, but not quite. And the interesting part is that he's been doing this, right? He has been doing this for a while now, where he calls her at 5:15 or 5:30. And the only time he didn't do it was on the day of the murders. And then the other interesting thing is that he didn't leave that morning at 5:15 or at 5:30. He left at 5:48, meaning that he was late leaving that morning. Chris Watts was late leaving to serve E319 on August 13th. This is the only time that, one, he didn't call Nicole Kessinger to tell her, hey, I'm leaving at 5:15 or 5:30. And two, he didn't leave at 5:15 or 5:30. He left at 5:48. 5:48, meaning that it took him an additional 18 minutes to get ready to leave for work on August 13th. So it took him an additional 18 minutes, meaning that he was late. Meaning, to me at least, that he didn't have time to get rid of his family appropriately once he got to Servi because the time was off. You guys let me know. Very quick. Hey, that's actually a very good question, Jerry. How long are these calls for? Check it out. So these calls are very brief. It's almost like he is, again, you guys let me know, but to me, the way I see it, to me, it really does seem like he is just timing something, right? Look at this. July 30th, 5:30 a.m. Incoming call. He's calling her, okay? He is calling her when he leaves the house. 3 minutes. All right, next one. Where's the other one? Oh my God, it's just, there's so many. 5:03 a.m. He's leaving. Incoming call to Nicole Kessinger's phone. 4 minutes. 4 minutes. I mean, what is happening here? 5:30, July 25th, 5:30 a.m. Incoming call, 6 minutes. 5:29 a.m. Incoming call, 9 minutes. 5:15 a.m. Look at this. 5:15, 2 minutes, and then he calls her back again at 5:29 for 9 minutes. What is happening? 5:15 on July 23rd, he calls her at 5:15 in the morning for 1 minute. Then he calls her back again 15 minutes later at 5:30 exactly for 4 minutes. Very, very interesting. Look at this. July 20th, 5:15 in the morning, he calls her, but this time they talk for 21 minutes. Look at this. July 19th, 5:16 in the morning, he missed it by 1 minute. Calls her for 1 minute. Then calls her again 15 minutes later at 5:30 and for 5 minutes. This is exact timing. Why? Why is this happening? Look at this. 5:30 in the morning. He calls her again on July 18th, 4 minutes. And then he calls her again at 5:50 for 3 minutes. The pattern that I'm noticing is that he's calling her, and then he started calling her at 5 in the morning, and then he started calling her at 5:15 and 5:30. Yeah, he had a routine and he just spat out time to the officers. Yeah, he had a routine. 5:15, 5:30 is what he told the officers that he left, and he didn't. He left at 5:48. And he knows that because the guy has photographic memory, does he not? So how is it that he doesn't remember what time he left on August 13th? Interesting. Yeah, good morning, sexy empanada. Her wake-up call, what do you guys think? Okay, let's go ahead and ask the question. This is so weird. What do we think is happening here? Okay, but before we end before we start our next poll, let's go ahead and finish this one. Do you think Chris Watts knows, or why do you think Chris Watts knows the exact height and weight of Bella and Cece? Most of you said, 49% said he weighed them for the tanks. 31% said, oh, look, Shanann just told him he remembered. Okay. And then he just knows, right? Because he's an attentive father. He's so attentive. And then he took him to a doctor's is 4%. Because they were planning Lehigh. I'm with you. I'm with you. Okay, what do we think is happening here? Why is Chris Watts calling Nicole Kessinger every single morning between 5:15 and 5:30? Why do you think Chris Watts is calling NK every single morning, except the morning of the murders? Of course. How convenient. Except the morning of the murders. And the calls are happening at 5:15 a.m. through 5:30 a.m. with some hit or misses, right? Sometimes he misses it by 1 minute. Because, if we are thinking that they are planning, then that means that they have been planning this for such a long time. They were planning it back in July, even. Is that what we think? Okay, so they are planning. They're planning and timing. Okay, that's what I'm going to put. They're planning and timing. The other one that I saw, Chris Watts is calling NK to wake her up. Okay, I definitely see that. I don't know. Some people do that, right? I used to do that like when I was way, way younger. I used to have, my whatever call me and be like, oh my God, can you wake me up? It was just so annoying sometimes. Because I'm like, no, don't call me too early. All right. Because I'm not going to wake up at 4 a.m. It has to be exactly at 5 a.m. And then I would get calls at like 4:30 and I'm like, oh my God. Okay, guys. What is the other one? When I first started dating my husband, we called each other even after we just saw each other. We just enjoyed one another. Exactly. Yeah, exactly, Britt. That is what I literally just said, right? Although, like I said, please don't call me at 4:30 because I am going to be pissed. Just don't call me at 4 a.m. Hell no. Okay? I'm not up at 4 a.m. Okay. Or is it, is it that they're just a cute couple, right? Oh, I'm just a cute couple. I miss you.
I miss your face.
Right? I miss your
Face. I miss your face.
Is that what we think? And what's the other one? What else? What could be another reason? What could be another reason that he's calling her? What else? What else do we think? They're planning. He's calling her to wake up. They're just cute little couple things. What is another reason, though? Yeah, puppy love phase. Okay, I see that. What is another reason? Is there another reason for it? Mr. Potatoes. Okay, let's just go ahead. I can't think of another reason, so let's just go ahead and put no inclination. No inclination. Unless there's other reasons that you guys want to tell me about. I haven't thought of. All right, let's go ahead and start this poll. Oh my God. Viba, update on the crabs. He's like letting her know. Oh, I only see 2 crabs today, Nikki. Let me see. I checked. Yeah, I think the medication is working. What do you guys think? Is that why? He's letting her know that the medication for the crabs is working. All right, guys, let's continue.
And she said she was going to her friend's house with the kids.
But she was still here when I left.
You went to a job site or?
So we're noticing lots of lefts, lots of rather than
Mhm.
actual answers when he's fed the questions. Are you feeling the resistance? Is he helping? Is he conveying? Or is he being resistant and sometimes convincing or over convincing with lots of reasons why? And so everything is said, and unlike an innocent person who just says it and who really is more interested in getting their family back, he says it but then has to explain why. In other words, he anticipates questions and has the need to explain why before the questions arrive, and that's a guilty sign.
Yep.
That need to explain.
You
Yeah.
went to the main plant, or
Same thing that we noticed with Nicole Kessinger, right? The need to explain. She's constantly having to explain, oh, I did this, but not because of that. Oh, no. It's not like I told him, oh,
Let's move in, let's get married, let's buy a house, let's buy 3 cars, let's buy a 3-car garage.
it's not like I said those things, right? That's what Nicole Kessinger does. She answers the question before she's even asked. And to me, that is, I mean, she's obviously lying, right? All right, guys, let's continue.
where'd you go?
I went to location first,
Where's that?
by Hudson, over there, east of Hudson.
And there was someone there at the time when you got there?
No, one of the operators, he had an issue there on Friday, let me run over the weekend. I went over there just to kind of verify what kind of issue he was having, see if I
To kind of verify what kind of issue he was having. You notice how he stuttered so severely there? Okay, so one of the operators had an issue on Friday. It happened over the weekend. I showed up on Monday just kind of to like verify why it was leaking. What in the world? Why is he lying?
over there, east of Hudson.
And there was someone there at the time when you got there?
No, one of the operators, he had an issue there on Friday, let me run over the weekend. I went over there just to kind of verify what kind of issue he was having, see if I could fix it.
See if I could fix it. All of this is so suspicious. This is so suspicious. It is just way too coincidental that this man and Troy McCoy happen to be at the same location, right? The same location at the exact same time that Cody Roberts texted Troy about this. It is too much of a coincidence. I can't get past it. I can't. Either way I look at this, to me is so weird that the leak happened on Friday that then made Chris go out there on Monday. This all seems very convenient, right? It is all so convenient.
Then we went to a pumping unit across the ranch over there. Most of the day. That's when I got the phone calls and text messages and.
Then we went to a pumping unit across the ranch over there. He says, okay, so they went to a pumping unit afterwards. You guys, we need to find somebody who knows how these things work. Now, I know there have been a few of you that have been telling me, oh yeah, go watch this tank expert. I listened to like 2 seconds of that tank expert and I very quickly, I'm like, I don't think he really knows what he's talking about. But again, that's just me. I don't know what the hell I'm talking about either, obviously, because I don't work in the oil fields, but I'm asking the questions, right? I'm just asking questions out here. I'm not claiming to know everything. But I really do want to ask this tank expert a lot of questions because some things don't really add up to me. Notice he didn't say a sensor leak, a coworker had an issue. Maybe that's when 319 came into their plan. Right, he doesn't say anything about a leak. He just says issue. Police must think, is this idiot potato head? Yeah, the police are just staring at his head, right? They're like, that's a very weirdly shaped head. They're probably not even listening to anything he's saying. Okay. Okay, so what do we think? Exactly. Okay, so what Boop said. So there is no sensor or leak. He doesn't mention any of it. He's just very vague. He says they had an issue. They had an issue is what he says. Okay, let's go ahead and listen to that again.
Need to explain.
You went to the main plant, or where'd you go?
I went to location first,
Where's that?
by Hudson, over there, east of Hudson.
And there was someone there at the time when you got there?
No, one of the operators, he had an issue there on Friday, let me run over the weekend. I went over there just to kind of verify what kind of issue he was having, see if I could fix it. Then we went to a pumping unit across the ranch over there. Most of the day. That's when I got the phone calls and text messages and came home.
Were you guys on like Carrier 49? Where you guys?
Hold on,
Phone
what?
calls and text across the ranch over there. Most of the day. That's when I got the phone calls and text messages and came home.
Were you guys on like?
Okay, so he got the phone calls and the text messages when he was across over there in the other ranch.
Carrier 49? Where you guys at?
Oh, like, you know where like Rockin' is?
Yep.
Yeah, out there.
Who's ranch are you on?
Survey.
Okay, I know where that's at.
He's very quick to answer Survey. When they asked him, "Oh, where were you?" He's like,
Over there by Rogan.
"Oh yeah, where's that at?" Survey. He's very quick with it. Let's go ahead and see. Oh, we forgot. I forgot we were watching Veroscope with pause for a long time. Yes, we discuss. You know, this is the lovely thing about this is that we can stop and discuss because we just want answers. I don't just want to watch things. I want to ask you guys questions. Okay. Okay, let's go ahead and see. Oh my God, you guys have so much. Okay, I worked for Northern Plains Trucking. We used to service these sites. Really? Service them how? In what way? Okay, I love the expression on your face when you Oh, thanks, Jerry. Phone calls regarding macros. Oh, hey, yeah, Lucia, I didn't even think of that. They're calling each other. Chris is just weighing his bicep every morning. He puts his arm on the scale and he's like,
Nikki, I need 2 more rotisserie chickens this weekend.
right, because he's getting small, right? He's like, "Oh, my biceps are getting too small.
Not enough protein.
Is that why we think he's calling her every morning?" Okay, Lehigh, we used to suck out the water out of these tanks. Wait, really? Okay, go ahead. Give us the deets. Okay, once the water level gets to a certain level, they call us to suck it out. More deets, Lehigh. Yeah, tell us everything you know. Thank you so much. All right, guys, let's continue.
So what kind of tools did you have to load up in the garage?
It was just mainly I got my water bottles, my water jug, my computer, book bags, my containers full of just my O-rings, all that stuff, just putting it all in there because I took it out a lot.
Do you load it up every day?
I'll just like on the Monday, like after I get all that stuff, because I had an issue where somebody stole all my tools out of my truck.
And we noticed, didn't we, that he's able to give ownership to my tools, my this, my the other, my this, my that.
Yeah.
But he doesn't give any ownership to his wife's or daughter's names
Right.
or themselves. There's a real separation.
Yeah. That is, yeah. Oh my God, I didn't even notice that. Yeah, he does say my this, my that, my the other. But when he talks about his family, he says those kids, that woman, those children, those girls, the wife, my wife. Well, he does say my wife, but he doesn't say her name. And then here, look, we're already seeing a lot of the hand motions, right? He's starting to do the this and the that. He's like, right now he's doing this. He's like, well, I had an issue with the truck.
People are stealing my shit. Know what I mean?
Like, come on, guy. He thinks he's so cool. He's such an idiot.
My pipe wrenches are gone. My socket set's gone. What else? My wrench set's gone. Like we had an issue. That's why I parked my truck in front of the neighbor's house for like a few days, just to see if like I could see if anybody was breaking it. Tried to break into my truck again.
Oh, come on. What a stupid excuse. I want to see if people are breaking into my car. Here, let me go ahead and park it across the street so that more people can steal my shit. This is so stupid. You know, the reason that he parked his truck was because he wanted to see where neighbor Nate's camera was following him. He wanted to see, oh, is neighbor Nate's camera going to follow me around? Is neighbor Nate's camera going to catch me murdering my family? That is why he's moving his truck, not because he's trying to catch thieves. I mean, come on. I've been on that neighborhood. Okay, I've been on that neighborhood. It is one of the quietest and safest neighborhoods I've ever seen. Okay, there's no one stealing shit from Chris Watts' dirty truck. I mean, why would anybody need a wrench set from him? Those things are so disgusting. They're probably like all oily and gross. Why would anybody want to steal a wrench set from him in the middle of nowhere, Frederick? I mean, come on. This is so ridiculous. Can you imagine someone trying to break into his dirty truck? No one is even looking into that nasty thing.
my pipe wrenches are gone, my socket set's gone, what else? My wrench set's gone. Like, we had an issue. That's why I parked my truck in front of the neighbor's house for like a few days, just to see if I could see if anybody was trying to break into my truck again. It was my fault. I left it unlocked. So as far as the toolboxes on the back.
What an idiot. And then he says, "Oh, it's my fault that my tools keep getting stolen and that people keep breaking into my car. I left it unlocked." Oh, come on. So then they're not really breaking into your car then, right? I mean, he's saying that he left his truck unlocked. And so that's why some person, I mean, who knows who this stranger is, walking around this quiet neighborhood in Frederick, just trying to unlock people's trucks. Oh, look, this one's open. Let's see what we can steal here. Oh, look at this disgusting wrench set. Let me just go ahead and take it real quick. None of this is believable. None of it. I would understand if he lived in, I don't know, if he lived on like Crenshaw Boulevard or something in LA, right? I don't believe that people are stealing his wrench sets in Frederick.
So on the weekend you download your stuff, and then on Monday you load it
Oh
back
yeah,
up.
just put it all back in. Just
Okay.
to kind of get everything out of my truck, clean it out a little bit from the whole week, because it gets filthy in there.
How long you guys lived here since 2012 or a different house?
No, like, so 2012 we moved here, lived in a friend's basement in Broomfield,
Okay.
and we closed on this house. It was built 2013 in May, and that's when we moved in there.
Okay.
What's up with his fingers?
Yeah, we moved in with my buddy. Over there, we lived in the basement, and then we built this house later.
What is up with that? He keeps doing this as if he's at the Metallica concert or something. Bro, you're talking to police. What is he doing? What do you guys think? He was shitting at the sunflowers? What what are you guys talking about? Is that his mating call? The fingers? Oh man. Yeah, what is this man doing? Does he think he is a computer? Yeah, I think the neighborhood seems boring. Yeah, it is, Anders. It is a very quiet, very quaint neighborhood, right? It's very, very, very quiet. Everyone kind of knows each other. The few times I've been there, everyone just seems so lively and happy. So again, I don't think that anyone is stealing from him. Oh, this is bullshit. All right, guys, let's go ahead and check out the poll. Why do you think Chris Watts is calling NK every single morning at 5? Oh, look, I messed that up. Whatever. At 5:15 a.m. through 5:30. And look at that. 34% say that they are planning and timing. 30% say they make a cute couple and they're just like,
I miss your face.
24% say that Chris Watts is calling Nicole Kessinger to wake her up. Okay. And then 12% have no inclination. All right. No inclination. All right. All right. Hey, police, can you help a brother out? What? Okay. What is the other question? Okay. I did want to ask you all. Where was it? One of you guys had it here and then I completely missed it. I wanted to ask you, it was regarding the children. They have so many sensors. How do you know how much water there is? Oh, right. And we're still hearing from Lehigh as well. Thank you so much, Lehigh, for letting us know what you were doing for work. Okay, we were scheduled daily. We don't see the ins and outs. We're just the drivers to go to the said sites. Okay. Okay. Oops, I didn't see that poll. Okay. We'll have another poll here. I just completely forgot the question already. It's just one of those days. I just forget shit all the time. All right, guys, let's continue. I'll remember.
So are you sensing the language is also struggling with breath? Are you sensing that? I think the officers are sensing that.
Oh, that he's out of breath? Here, let's go ahead and listen to that.
And we closed on this house. It was built 2013 in May, and that's when we moved in there.
Okay.
So are you sensing the language is also struggling with breath?
Mm-hmm.
Are Are you sensing that? I think the officers are sensing that.
Yeah, they are. Yeah, they are. Yeah, he's struggling with brain activity.
The language is incorrect, and the nervousness within the language is incorrect. It doesn't seem like the actions of someone nervous about the family. It's the nerves combined with the rocking, as we saw earlier, combined with the linguistics, where it's about him.
Yep.
His frame is about him. Do you remember when the police first arrived? He wanted to walk the block and clear his head. It's all self-framed, and his family is meant to be missing.
Okay, I'm just reading the chat right now. Okay, Lehigh, because the weight of the kids would show up as water. Okay. This was actually one of my questions that I had like 2 nights ago. So if Bella and Cece were okay, back up because my brain has just okay. I had this exact question 2 nights ago when I was doing research on the tanks. I did wonder if you drop bodies into the tanks because most of our body is water weight, right? Blood, right? Everything that we have in our bodies, we are mostly water weight. I wondered the same thing. If you were to drop Bella and Cece into these tanks, would they show up as water weight? And if they did, would the mass of a tiny child displace enough of the liquid inside the tank? Because again, these are massive, massive tanks, 20 feet, right? They're humongous. I can't remember how many barrels of oil they are able to hold. And so I always wondered, if you drop a body in there, is it going to show up as water weight? Is it going to show up as a displacement? Whether or not there are sensors, which there were, the thing is that there were. I mean, how else was Anadarko supposed to be monitoring any of these tanks out in remote fields without having to send people out there to physically check that the tanks are working properly? It is so crazy. And my mind is just blown right now because you said that. They would show up as water. Chris was hoping the water truck would service the tanks and the bodies be sucked into the trucks. Then we used to dump it in a disposed tank. Wow. Especially if there's not much liquid in there, I would imagine it's a possibility. He said, yeah, one of the tanks was really low to monitor. Exactly. Oh my God, Paisley. Oh man, you are hilarious. Oh man. Oh girl, I'm mainly fat. Oh man, that just tickled me. That shit tickled me. Oh man. Oh wow. Okay. Lehigh. Okay, so because it was a vacuum truck, not just a water truck. Okay. Yeah. Wow, guys. I love the insight. Thank you so much, Lehigh. Thank you. I have so many more questions. So yeah, just keep dumping your knowledge in the chat. I'll get to it eventually. Wow. Okay, the other question. Okay, I want to go back to the question that we had earlier. Chris moving back and forth, the way, you know how we see him all fidgety? He's like, is it because we think that he murdered his children that night, right, on Sunday? Is that why he's being fidgety? Is that why he's lying? Let's go ahead and ask. Why is Chris Watts so fidgety? Yeah, why is he so fidgety? Is it because he killed his kids on Sunday? Or he's just nervous? What is the other one? I forgot the other one. The cool thing is that we have some information coming forward. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, exactly. For a lesser offense, it's my fault for leaving the tools in there. Right, exactly, Benjamin. Oh, it's my fault. I left the tools in there. It's my fault. Right? He's making it sound like he is at fault for all these things that are happening. Okay, so why is Chris so fidgety? He killed his kids on Sunday. He's just nervous. Or what is the other one? What is the other one? He, what is Oh, the live stream ads. Oh, you guys, yeah, I'm so sorry. There's nothing I can do about that. Right to YouTube, I guess. Okay. Yeah, he's scared, right? Yeah, exactly. He's nervous or scared. What is another reason that he could be acting this way? Right? He's being very eccentric, is what he calls himself. I was just very eccentric that day. Too many patches? Okay. Hey, thrive. Yeah, he's thriving. Right? He's thriving. Yeah, he's thriving and patching. Yeah, yeah, hey, you know what? You never know, right? You never know. And he's nervous about the police standing there. Right. Yeah, he may have realized there's no evidence of the toolbox break-in. Oh, that's a good one. That's a good one. All right. Okay. We have enough of them. Let's go ahead and start this poll. Okay, Chris Watts. Why is Chris Watts so fidgety? He killed the kids on Sunday. He's just nervous. He's thriving and double patching. Or toolbox break-in lies. Right? The last one is that he's lying about the toolbox break-in, and he knows that you can verify that. I mean, all you have to do is go to the neighbor's house and check his camera. And he's still lying about it. What an idiot. Crack is a whack. Whack is crack. I just wonder if NK is the one to call the company to go empty the tanks. Yes, Lehigh. Yes. Question. I mean, who would call you? So, okay, question for you, Lehigh. Who would call you guys to go to these sites? Just a question. Because, yeah, again, I just have all these questions. Who would call? Would it be Nicole Kessinger, right? Because her job description meant that she is the one monitoring these tanks, and if there's something wrong with it, she would call somebody. Or who would call? Somebody above her? Her supervisor, maybe? Is she just giving out free gift cards? Lehigh, did you ever get any free gift cards? Yeah, did you ever go to the Lazy Dog and just spend all your money at the Lazy Dog? All right, guys, let's go ahead and continue.
But he can't perform the actions of the innocent father. He's not getting it right. Now think about it. If you think about it, to be skilled enough to be cast as an A-lister in a good movie,
Yeah.
a good actor, it's difficult to play the part.
I mean, yeah, it really is. I mean, yeah, being casted as an A-lister, you have to be a good actor. I mean, holy moly. I mean, even Leonardo DiCaprio, poor guy. I mean, how many years has this man been acting, and he finally won his first Oscar ever, right? And it was for what was it for? Wasn't it for that one movie, Reverend, or whatever it's called, Revenant, or I don't even know what it's called. But yeah, I mean, he's such a good actor, and it took him forever to get an Oscar, and he's an A-lister, right? Imagine that. None of these idiots, right? Neither nor Chris, nor Nicole Kessinger, nor Sarah Boone, or any of the people that we talk about, none of them are good at acting. But somehow, they're still standing here lying through their teeth.
But he can't perform the actions of the innocent father. He's not getting it right. Now think about it. If you think about it, to be skilled enough to be cast as an A-lister in a good movie, a good actor, it's difficult to play the part, isn't it?
Yeah.
You know, all the B films we've ever watched of the, innocent father, and they're useless. They're rubbish at it. Same as this guy. He just can't do it. It becomes obvious once you know what to look for. And so the combination
I mean, I would argue that some B-list and even some D-list actors are way better at acting than this guy. There's no way that Chris would ever be casted for a B-list movie. No way. There's no way.
of his nerves, he's out of breath, he can't keep himself still. But that could be the actions of an innocent father, couldn't it? Trauma, worried about his family. So it's this in combination with the self-focus and plenty of other deception markers which we're identifying. We're just focusing on this bit for now. And so in go the deception markers.
Does she have any other friends in this neighborhood?
Not, I mean, we haven't talked to many people around here, honestly.
It's mostly in Erie
Yeah,
and Broomfield.
Erie, Broomfield, Frederick.
And when people slip in things like truthfully, honestly, I swear to God, and all the rest of this stuff, we put a marker.
Yeah, he's such a liar. He's like, oh goodness. Tommy's girl, you have a lot of good questions. I was actually looking this up yesterday. So the thing is that Anadarko, right? We know Anadarko was bought out by Occidental. So because they are a private company, they are not required to keep any of these records. And if they are, they're not required to let us know about these records. And so unless it was actually shown in the discovery or the police had access to it through, a court document or a warrant or some, just having the court be involved in this, getting these records, there's really no way that anyone that doesn't work for the company can get these records because they are a private company. Yeah, believe me, the best way would be to just know somebody there that would be willing to leak this stuff. But, again, it happened so long ago. It happened 8 years ago. Anadarko doesn't even exist anymore. It is now Occidental. So who even knows, right? Who even knows if Occidental kept any of Anadarko's old files? And if they did, they're not required to show us. But I do believe, yeah, I mean, of course, there's definitely a log. I mean, how is there not? Every single company has a log of things, right? That is how you monitor things, especially something like an oil company. An oil and gas company, again, there's so many things that can go wrong with any of these tanks. It is an environmental disaster if these things are not constantly monitored. So absolutely, there's definitely a log. Now, will we ever be able to see it? Probably not. Probably not. But very good questions, you guys. Anadarko, yeah, exactly. Imagine, yeah, they released, Anadarko released the absolute bare minimum of NK's activities and their organizational procedures to FBI. Exactly. See, and the thing is, they are a company, so of course they're going to protect their organization. They're not just going to, give everybody access to their logs and how they monitor this stuff because they also have competitors, right? There's like so many things that they are protecting as a company. And so, yeah, I've already looked into this. Oh my goodness. I was hoping to get some access to this by even just pretending to be someone, and it's not going to happen. It's not going to happen. Anadarko's still thriving in Oklahoma. Yeah, are they? Yeah. Are they really still thriving? Wait, Anadarko or just like the Anadarko like devices, right? Their gadgets and stuff like that. NK's computer and internet history were not handed over to the FBI. Yeah. Like, hi, why would that be important? We just tell us something about who ordered the disposal. Yeah, I have questions about the disposal. Who called the water trucks over to Survey 319 to clear it out? And what is the purpose of that? What does it really do other than just clear out the water? There's just, I need to understand these things. All right, guys. Okay, here. Investigators even went deep into the investigating of the alcohol in Shanann's autopsy was because she was drinking. I feel like they just left it out of discovery. It could just be that somebody left it out of discovery. V-Bug, I've thought about this. I actually thought about just getting a job there. Of course, I can't do it. When am I going to have time? I wonder if the sensor would be accurate enough to detect 30 pounds of difference. See, the thing is, I think we're not even just only looking at the pounds of difference. Okay, let's go ahead and I'm gonna pull up photos of Survey 319. Um, I just want to show you all where my brain goes when I think of these things. Okay, so okay, where is it? Where is it? Where is it? Okay, here it is. Okay, let's go ahead and just look at this photo real quick. See, okay. Now, I've never worked for an oil industry ever, okay? But I was in the Coast Guard. And when I was stationed on the boat, there's certain things that we do have to monitor on the boat to make sure that we don't drown, to make sure that we are safe, and to make sure that our boat doesn't explode in the middle of the ocean. So there's a lot of things that go into monitoring things like this. Um, Something like this, right? It's holding oil, right? Crude oil that is coming from the ground. So if any of these little things are open, for example, this hatch, right? When we look at this hatch, these are called the thief hatches. And the reason they're called thief hatches is because of the way that the hatch is built. It is actually designed to keep a lot of these gases from seeping out, right? From leaking out. Because again, there's a lot of methane, a lot of hydrocarbons. There's so much crap in this that is terrible for the environment. If you breathe this in, if it gets out, it is going to destroy the whole area, right? It is terrible. It is really bad. And it is a huge liability for a company like Anadarko to not be able to monitor these things accurately. And so I find it incredibly hard to believe that opening the thief hatch isn't going to notify somebody, because even just simply opening the thief hatch would mean that gases are escaping, which means that the pressure inside the tank itself is changing as well. Because if there is pressure buildup because of this methane, right, and these hydrocarbons and all of this nasty fumes in the tank above the oil, once you open the hatch, that escapes and it changes the temperature of the tanks inside. So I've always wondered, how is it possible that Chris opened those hatches and no one was alerted at the changes in pressure? We're not even asking, right? I'm not even asking if it was able to detect a displacement. I'm just wondering, how is it possible that he opened the hatch and no one was notified? Look at these little things here. So, look at these little things. Now, again, I don't know shit about these tanks, but these little things are connected. Now, what are these? This little thing here is connected to that, then that is connected to that. These are connected to pipes, and then these pipes run to the rest of the site. Okay, so when we look at the rest of the site, right, these pipes go down into the ground, right? So what is it monitoring? And let's go ahead and look at another photo, because let's go ahead and see this part here. Where is it? Where is it? I want to show you all the other things about the site. God, where is it? Oh my God, did I lose it already? Okay, here it is. Let's just go ahead and show you this one. Okay. We have this one now. So when we zoom in, you have these little devices here. What are these things doing? Now, of course, the tanks themselves don't have sensors. The tanks themselves don't have sensors, but they definitely have some things on it. Okay, so when we look at the tanks themselves, let's go ahead and look at the tanks. Let's go ahead and zoom in. Okay, what is this? So this hatch, the thief hatch, closed. There are little things connecting to it that, if these cables are connecting to it, they're doing something. Okay, they're doing something. They're not just going to be connecting to cables for no reason. Here, let's go ahead and look at the other photo. Oh my God, there's like another one. I don't even know where it went. Okay, now there's this one. This one here, for example. This has solar panels on it. This has a solar panel on it. This also has a solar panel on it. As we know, these solar panels take in photons from the sun. Those photons then get absorbed into the solar panel as energy that then gets used by the device. So, why are there solar panels connected to this thing? What is the reason, right? So, there is definitely monitoring and there is definitely electricity in the form of solar panels. So, when I'm really looking into this and I really want to find tank experts, none of the tank experts that I've watched or even read about talk about any of these devices. They are only talking about the tanks themselves. The tanks themselves, obviously, they don't have any sensors. I don't see any of them. I don't see a single solar panel on it. Where's the solar panel? I don't see it. These are not the things that are being censored, though, or sorry, they are being monitored, but that is not what the sensors are. The sensors are up away from that. This is a sensor. What is this thing doing? That is my question. My question is, what are these things doing out here? There's no toilet. No, there's no toilet out there. No. There's no toilet. Okay, what are you guys saying? What are you guys saying? How do the pumps run? Hydraulic? Yeah, exactly. See, these are all the questions that I have. All of these questions I have. Okay, what if Jim and Nicole put the girls? Okay, let's go ahead. I'm just gonna go ahead and get back out. Okay, we sucked it out through the bottom of the tank. Okay. Yes, unless these tanks and hatches are so old that they didn't have that. Right. Which they're not. Right? They're not so old that they don't have that. The thing is that these devices have been existing for a very, very long time. And Anadarko had them already. This was 2018, so it's not really all that long ago. Anadarko was already using these sensors. They were already using solar panels to be able to detect and monitor these tanks. Okay, what else? Remember how Nicole said that she was ill for a few days? Yes, I do remember that. And so what do we think? Do we think that they opened the tanks? Talking about the thief hatch makes me remember how sick Jim... Yes. Yep. What about the gasoline lighter? Perhaps they're going to blow it up. Okay. And can a company see anything coming from the tank when they're being sucked out? Would Chris or Nicole Kessinger know that? Right. These are all the questions that I have. And I'm finding it very, very difficult to just like finding answers for it. Powering something up. Yep. NK pinging area in the morning is not important. Make it make sense. Okay, 280 launching solar panels could give the camera out there some energy, like your ring. Yeah, there are no cameras out there though, right? There's no cameras. There's no cameras. Okay, so a few things we need to clarify. There are no cameras and there's no surveillance out on these tanks. Reason for that is that the company is not going to spend money on surveillance cameras, right? Like again, this is an oil and gas company. And if they're sending people out there to these remote areas every once in a while, they're not going to have they don't have cameras. They don't have cameras. I've already verified that myself. They don't have any cameras. But they're definitely monitoring something. And so what I want to know is, what is this monitoring? Because this is what is, and it ends up getting connected to the same tanks. Look at this. This here, right? This thing here is connected via pipe and then it's connected to the oil tanks and it goes straight to the ground. This has a solar panel, so this thing is working with electricity coming from the sun. These things are also working with electricity coming from the sun. So for all the people who are saying there's no electricity out there, you are correct in that there's no electricity in the way that we know electricity to be, but there's definitely power via solar panels. Look at this. That pipe that I just showed you all coming from that device, right? That black contraption. This is it right here. So this is the pipe. It runs along, and then it goes into this little thing. So what is that doing? Okay, what else? The tanks date back from the Industrial Revolution. I bet into 2026 there are cameras and a log gate and the types of oil sites. No, there aren't. Thank you so much, Carola. Thank you so much for the super chat. Yeah, there are not. Imagine no. I bet in 2026 there are cameras and logs of gate access and the types of no, there's not. There's not. How do I know? Because I'm making a documentary and I'm out there. This is how I know. I'm seeing it with my own eyes. I'm putting myself in these situations. Like I'm going out there and using my own eyeballs to verify a lot of this information. And there isn't a single camera out there, even in 2026. Because again, there is no need to. It is so remote that no one is out there. Other than the people that work on Survey Ranch and the people that work for Occidental, no one is out there. It is in the middle of nowhere. It is in the boonies. I mean, that is like putting surveillance cameras in Antarctica. Like, what is the surveillance camera going to surveil? The penguins? So there's definitely nothing out there. There's no cameras, guys. No cameras. Then and now. Yeah, that's shocking that there aren't cameras covering the land, especially put up by the owners of the land. Exactly, right? But see, the thing is that all of these cost money, right? I think, yeah, definitely putting cameras on something makes logical sense. But if you are managing a ranch, how are you going to pay for so many cameras? All of these things require resources. And so if you want to put cameras, you have to, one, account for the cost of these cameras, account for them, for the wear and tear of these cameras, because you have to replace them. You also need the actual surveillance system. So whether you're paying for a monthly service like the Ring app, or I don't know, another one, Vivint, right? That is an additional cost, right? So as a ranch owner, it makes no sense to install cameras when there's nothing to really surveil. There's no surveillance because there's nothing to surveil. These are just tanks. And for the most part, people are not out there like messing with them because there's nothing to do. Can all the solar panels in the inverter isn't working, solar doesn't work? I'm sorry, what? Sorry, what is your question, Don? Can all the solar panels you want? If the inverter isn't working, the solar doesn't work. Oh, right, yeah. I mean, you can have all the solar panels, but some things still don't work. Yeah, yeah, definitely. And maybe they're monitoring the oil level in the tanks. The cops couldn't even use regular cameras or flashlights at Survey when investigating the site because they could get an explosion. Right. Yes, exactly. Yeah, it's just so scary. It's so scary out there. The cameras would make up for any insurance liability that would happen on land. Could it be that it protects the landowner from being sued if an employee gets hurt? No, definitely not. No. Nothing but solar power. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, well, Okay, what's the other one? I'm thinking gas monitors. Okay, so you guys think it's monitoring the gas? Can also, okay, what's the other one? I don't believe that they had alarms on them. I think NK only worked with the safety monitors. Right. Yeah, and just to clarify, alarms don't mean like an actual alarm. Like we're not thinking of like, right? Something that is just going off constantly, like, Nicole's cousin's fire alarm in the background. It goes beep. We didn't tell you to do that, Kraus. Beep. Right? Those are not the alarms we're talking about, but definitely it's sensing something, right? I think it's sensing something. Yeah. All right, guys, let's go ahead and continue.
Not many people around here, honestly.
It's mostly in Erie and Broomfield.
Erie, Broomfield, Frederick.
And when people slip in things like truthfully, honestly, I swear to God, and all the rest of this stuff, we put a marker in simply because it's far quicker to put the marker in rather than debate it. You can put it in and argue about it later or see if it matches a pattern, but we just don't bother with the debate. We saw it happen, we heard it happen, in goes the marker.
Where at in Frederick, do you know?
So we had, like, they just lived up here in Frederick Way. They actually just moved down to Thornton, Nick and Amanda Thayer.
Okay.
Nikki, she lives up, the one that was here, she lives in Frederick.
The one that dropped her off?
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah, she lives, like, over there building that new stoplight, that bridge over there.
Right. Okay. And you have no idea of what's framed? So all your friends pretty much have kids the same age?
Mm-hmm.
So it's hard to...
It's really hard. I mean, I've exhausted every option I know of as far as friends goes. Like, Nikki knew more of them because she's a woman. And
Oh, I hate this part.
Okay, so I've exhausted all the past, no past, it's all done. Somebody who is looking for their wife and children does not run out or of pass, or it has exhausted them all within hours of his family going missing. Just doesn't happen. He wants it to be all exhausted because he wants the search to be over. But in reality, that's not how an innocent father is. They will never exhaust the search. He's exhausted it within the hour.
Yep. Yeah, he has. Oh, I don't have anybody else to call. I mean, come on, really? If you're a dad and your family is missing, you're not going to say, "Oh, you know what? I just ran out of people to call. I guess I'll just sit here and wait." I mean, come on. You're going to be desperate. You're going to be desperately asking for answers. You're going to be out there looking for your family. You're not just going to sit there idly by. It's so ridiculous. He's so dumb. Okay, guys. Yeah, you guys have so many good things. Okay, so let's go ahead and just read. It looks retrofitted. They had an explosion not long before this. Monitoring the gas levels makes sense. Yes. Extraction of oil is certainly not my area of expertise. Yeah, same. Not mine either. Not mine either. See, that's why I'm asking these questions. Okay, boops. So they have to have certain kinds of camera that they cannot use a spark, right? According to Discovery, and Discovery said that the tanks did have cameras because people would go out there and play Twister or do drugs. Yeah, exactly, but not 319. Exactly. Right, yeah. Some of them do because but the thing is that the ones that don't have the massive tanks. From what I've read, and again, I could be completely wrong because I have no idea what the fuck I'm talking about. But from what I've read, the places that did have these cameras don't have those massive oil tanks, right? Those humongous wells. They have the extraction, right? Where you extract the oil because those are actually so far, they're actually more remote. I've actually driven out where I'm just like, okay, I'm just gonna go look, and it takes you out into even boonier boonies. You're way out there in the middle of nowhere, and yeah, I noticed something that caught my eye, and I'm like, what is that? That kind of looks like a camera. Now I don't know if the camera works or if it's just a what is it, like a fake thing, right? It's just there to scare people away. But I did notice one. Now I don't know if it's actually working. Like I said, it's probably just there to scare people away. But I haven't read about any of these cameras being at the actual sites where the wells are. Because again, the wells, there's pressure buildup inside these things. So any camera, whether it's small or a phone or whatever it is, if something sparks and it there's like a spark and it lights and there's combustion, there's going to be a huge explosion. And so putting cameras near these well sites is very risky. So where I have seen this camera, right? And again, it's like one of the little white ones with like the black thing. You guys know what I'm talking about? I really do think it's fake. I think a lot of places they put those just to scare people away, but they don't actually work. It's so crazy. Wait. Losing hope in any resolution. Why didn't they go further into the boonies? Why her? Yeah, they could have put a camera in the gate, which is a bit of a distance from the tanks. Yeah. Yeah, and even the cameras, or even the gates don't have cameras. They don't. Yeah, nothing out there has a camera, guys. Except for the other ones. The one that I just mentioned. Okay, so look at this. It is... Oh, here it is. Okay, the Dollar Tree cameras. Yeah, exactly. Yes, these. It is fake. Right? It's something like this, but it's not quite like that it looks like. I don't know. Hmm. Yeah, it definitely to me, I thought it was fake. But yeah, they kind of looked like this. Like this, but not as obvious. It's not an obvious. It's maybe a little more like this, but it's not just it's not just like the bottom part. There's a little thing sticking out, so it's almost like this, but it's a little bulb, right? So I think it's fake. I think it's just there to scare people away. All right, guys, let's continue.
I know it's about the telephone book, etc., but the language gives him away.
That's about as far as we could go, as far as all the friends that we could think of.
All right. So if you talk to some of her friends, tell them that we're looking for her, and we just need to make sure that she's okay, and she can call us. She doesn't have to call you. That if that's what she's worried about.
You know, you're trying to get a hold of her and she don't want to talk to you, so have them refer her to us if they know where she's at.
Okay.
Like you're saying.
Just so whatever's going on between you guys, that's between you guys. And she doesn't want to talk to you, that's fine. We just don't want to waste resources looking for her if she's actually okay. So, like, if you can relay to the friends, hey, I understand she doesn't want to talk to us, at least have her call the police so that they know she's okay.
Okay.
Type deal, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
That way that we know that she's okay, and whatever's going on between you guys can kind of figure that out.
Okay.
Type deal. Do you have any questions for us before we get out of here?
I mean, call area hospitals, call hotels. That's about. I mean,
Someone said she was diabetic.
she had her friend Cassie in Arizona. She's a nurse, and she had low blood sugar when she was down there. That's why I brought that up.
Oh, okay.
She never had seizures or blacked out or anything.
It was just like that was a long time ago before I even met her. She had a horrific car accident. They think she might have blacked out or had a seizure. They just couldn't really figure it out. Like she just had a car accident. She just flew out of the car.
And you
What
have
an
his
absolute moron. This part is so stupid. Oh God. She had an accident and she just flew out of the car. What is he doing? He's such a terrible actor. He's so terrible. Did you guys see that again? Here, let's go ahead and watch it again. And there is another angle. There's this angle. I really want to find the other angle now because there's the angle from this officer's camera, right? And then it's just so obvious that Chris is lying. He's like, oh yeah, she had a terrible accident many years ago, and she just flew out of the car. He acts so weird. He knows that he's lying, and so that's why he knows. I think he senses that the officers don't believe him.
That's about. I mean,
Someone said she was diabetic.
she had her friend Cassie in Arizona. She's a nurse, and she had low blood sugar when she was down there. That's why I brought that up.
Oh, okay.
She never had seizures or blacked out or anything.
It was just like that was a long time ago before I even met her. She had a horrific car accident. They think she might have blacked out or had a seizure. They just couldn't really figure it out.
She may have blacked out or have a seizure. They couldn't really figure it out. So, the reason that he's saying this, in my opinion, is because he's sprinkling in a bunch of bullshit that doesn't matter, right? But he's trying to make it sound like, oh, it's possible. It's possible that Shanann went out for a walk and then she had a seizure or blacked out. It's possible, right? Because of this accident that happened so long ago. It's again, I think it's part of what Nicole Kessinger does, right? She does the same thing where she sprinkles in a bunch of little details here and there before the question is asked. But that's so that in case something happens later on, they're able to go back to her statement or something and they'll be saying like, oh, okay, well, she already said this before, so it might be the reason why. And this is another thing that Chris is doing. So he's saying, yeah, she did have a traumatic accident back in the day and she passed out or had a seizure. Yeah, it's probably because he's hoping that they think, oh, well, she's maybe out there. Who knows? She's probably out there somewhere. She passed out and had a seizure because the husband told us that she had a terrible accident 20 years ago.
That's why I brought that up.
Oh, okay.
She She never had seizures or blacked out or anything.
It was just like, that was a long, long time ago before I even met her. She had a horrific car accident. They think she might have blacked out or had a seizure. They just couldn't really figure it out. Like, she just had a car accident. She just flew out of the car.
Yeah, and then he panics. He panics as he knows he's lying.
Blacked out or anything.
It was just like, that was a long, long time ago before I even met her. She had a horrific car accident. They think she might have blacked out or had a seizure. They just couldn't really figure it out. Like, she just had a car accident. She just flew out of the car.
And you have his contact info?
I think the detective did.
Yeah, Dave's got all of them.
Okay. And if you hear,
Yeah, it's all word salad. Yeah, exactly. Hey, yeah, Perry. Yeah, what does being in a car accident have anything to do with anything other than, well, he's just adding a bunch of little context here, right? That's what he's doing. He's adding context. He's saying, well, she's been in an accident, so it's possible. She's probably passed out somewhere. Don't look at me, though. I didn't do anything. Wow. I'm sure that's not how the story goes. Exactly. Yeah, he's giving a distraction and a possibility of why she's missing. Yeah, exactly. That's why he's talking about this car accident that happened so many years ago. Or he said, oh, it happened long time ago. Yeah, right before I met her. I mean, come on. They've been together for 8 years. Why would a car accident that happened 8 years ago or 10 years ago matter today? But that's why he's saying it. That's why he's saying it. Is he trying to take attention off himself? Yep, exactly. He's trying to take attention off himself. Over explaining extra details. Exactly. Lehigh, all I can think about is that the police must have had a gut feeling that they stopped that truck from servicing the site. That's interesting. Okay, let's go ahead and end the last poll. I want to ask you guys another question. Okay, why is Chris Watts so fidgety? He killed his kids on Sunday. Oh, wow. Wait, really? Hold on. Wait, 46% of you think that he killed both of his kids on Sunday? He's just nervous is 34%. A toolbox break-in is a lie, and he's striving and double patching is the last one. What? Okay, we need to talk about this. Hold on. So you guys think that both children... Okay, here, let's go ahead and ask another question. Oh my goodness. Here, let's go ahead and just ask another question, because now I'm curious. Okay. How should I word this? Oh, I think Gia is ready. She knows it's 2 p.m. It might go a little bit longer, though. I need to let her know. It might go a little bit longer. I'm sorry, baby. She's like, is it 2 p.m. yet? She already wants to go out for her little devil's lettuce. All right. Yeah, she's fiending, She's like, where's my devil's lettuce? Right? Gia. She's like, that is her telling me that she's fiending. All right, guys. What is the question? I don't think the girls were killed the night before. Yeah, it's a small shadow. Yeah. I don't think so either. I actually think he killed them. Okay. All right. Let's go ahead and ask this question then. Okay. Okay, let's go ahead and do... Okay, so the question is going to be... Do you think Chris Watts killed Bella and Cece? Huh. Hold on. I need to word it better. Okay. Okay, so did Chris kill both children? Because I know some of you think it was just Cece. Others think it was just Bella. Some think both. Others think none. So did Chris Watts kill both children at home the night prior? Okay, so yes, both Bella and Cece. No, just Cece. Okay, yes. Or no, both are still alive. on August 13th morning. Okay. Okay, let's go ahead and start this poll. I'm just so curious now. I'm so confused. Okay, so did Chris Watts kill both children at home the night prior? Yes, both Bella and Cece. No, just Cece. Yes, just Bella. Not Cece. No, both are still alive on August 13th. Look at that. Okay, Monday morning he killed them all. Okay, so no, they're both still alive on August 13th. So no one thinks that Bella. Okay, I think we're all on the same page. So I don't think many of us think that Bella was killed first and Cece was left alive. Okay, so I think most people believe they were either both killed, or it was just Cece, or they were both still alive. I don't believe those children were alive at Survey. Really? Really? I do. I believe that they were both still alive. I believe his story when he says that he drove with them and they were still alive in the back seat of the truck. I said still alive, and why would he make up the Survey story? Yeah, see, that's the thing. I'm with you on that, Tommy's girl, because I understand that Chris lies, but the story that he told the investigators is so fucking evil. And it's just so like disgusting to imagine that I don't think he would make that up. He could have said something less worse. But the story of him actually driving with his kids out to Survey 319 that morning and then him killing them with their own blankies, it is so awful that I think it's true. Because he could have lied. He could have said, oh no, they were all dead already. And so they didn't suffer at all when I put them in the tanks. But what he's telling is actually way worse than anything any of us can imagine. That's why I believe him, because it's so fucking evil. And I do believe it. I do believe that he would do something as evil as not because he's doing it to be evil, but because he's so stupid that he didn't successfully murder his children how he was supposed to. And I do believe him when he says that he saw his girls wake up and then he was panicked by it. And so then it made the entire morning just complete shit for him. Here, let's go ahead and just look at the calendar. I always want to back up why I say the things that I say with evidence. Okay, so let's go ahead and see this. Okay, so as we know, Chris Watts would leave his house between 5:15 and 5:30 every single morning. This day, however, he left at 5:48, so he was late. Why was he late? If this was planned and it was supposed to be planned to a T, he would have left at 5:15 to 5:30, the same time that he leaves every single day. If we are to believe, that these are alibis of him showing, look, I go to work every single morning at 5:30, then that means that he would have left that morning on the 13th at the same time, because that is his alibi. Oh, I leave work same time every single day. Except the morning of the murders, he left 18 minutes later. Why? If Shanann arrived at 1:48, he had plenty of time to leave home at 5:30, but he didn't. And I do think it's because he messed up in killing his children and he fucking panicked. And then when he saw that they're alive, he's like, oh, shit, what am I supposed to do now? So then he started to panic even more and he started shitting himself. And then he's just like, oh my God, everything's going to shit now. And then he's struggling to put Shanann in the truck. And then he's like, holy shit, I'm running out of time. Let me just take the girls out there because the sun is coming up. My coworkers are going to be out at Survey. A lot of things are happening. And so I do believe when he says he put his kids in the car, he's driving with them, he's thinking like, what the hell am I going to do when I get there? And I believe that as soon as he got there, he murdered them because he was running out of time. And that is why I say the things that I'm saying. Because looking at the calendar and then looking at how consistent Chris Watts was leaving every single morning at 5:30, I do believe that he messed up and that he had to take his kids out there alive because he couldn't murder them at the house because he's stupid and he just completely messed it up, right? He panicked. Yes. And by stupid, I mean that he wasn't able to follow Nicole Kessinger's plan to the T. I don't believe him. I think NK helped him kill the children when he confessed his dad after admitting to the affair. He said, I don't want to protect her. And there's too many. Oh, right. Yeah. There's too many we's. Yeah. When Chris Watts says, I don't want to protect her, I think he's talking about Shanann. I do. I don't think he's talking about Nicole Kessinger. I think he's talking about not protecting Shanann because he's such a stupid, vile, disgusting human being. He's saying, oh yeah, I don't want to protect Shanann. I'm just going to blame her for everything. Okay. Chris maybe killed all his family at home, but somebody helped with the bodies to the truck and to Servy. Okay. Hmm. Yeah, I mean, yeah, you guys have a lot of lots of different theories going around. Okay, right. The only reason he would make the story worse would be to deflect from NK. So do we think that he's making the story even worse because he's trying to lie about Nicole Kessinger's involvement? Okay. All right. I'm going to ask you guys the next question. How many of you guys, I think I've asked this before, but I want to know again. How many of you guys think that Nicole Kessinger helped with the girls? Because I still don't. I haven't seen any evidence that leads me to believe that Nicole Kessinger helped in the murdering of the children. Now, I know she's evil. I'm not saying that she's not capable of it. What I'm saying is, I don't think she would get her hands dirty like that. I really don't. Again, this is just me though. You guys, if you guys think that she would get her hands dirty, okay, here, let's go ahead and ask the question. Screw it. Let's just go ahead and ask it. Okay. Do you think Nicole Kessinger would get her hands dirty by strangling or physically harming a child? By harming Okay, so do you think NK would get her hands dirty by harming children? Okay, so yes, she either killed one or both. Yes, let's see, what is the other one? Okay, and then the other one is and the other one's gonna be what would the other one be? I think if the kids were alive, he wouldn't have been able to focus on whether his plans were. I think if the kids were alive, he wouldn't have been able to focus on whatever his plans were. Right. And because of that, I think that he screwed up putting Shanann in the hole. I think that the reason that we see that crime scene left so terribly for Shanann is because he ran out of time, because he had to focus on murdering his children when he got there. If they're all dead, then the crime scene wouldn't have looked that way. I don't think so, right? Again, I think about it. He had 2 whole hours almost out there by himself. If his kids and everyone was already dead, it is just so much easier to dispose of them. But I think that it took him a long time because he had to murder his children again. And he had to focus this time. Okay, last one is no inclination. All right, guys, do you think NK would get her hands dirty by harming children directly? Yes, she killed one or both. Yes, she helped carry them. Again, by getting her hands dirty, I mean, do you think that Nicole Kessinger would actually put her hands on the bodies of the people that are about to get murdered? Like, do you think that she would risk either leaving her fingerprints or touching the people that she claims to hate so much? the way I see it, and the way that I just by watching Nicole Kessinger and knowing the things that we know about her, I don't think that she would get her hands dirty. I think that she would leave it up to Chris to do it. Very much just like Gypsy Rose, right? Gypsy Rose, and there's that other lady from Evil Genius, that documentary on Netflix. I can't remember the name right now. But these women are the mastermind. I don't think that they are willing to get their hands dirty. They leave that up to the man. They're like, no, you fucking do it. I'm just giving you the plans. I'm giving you the layout, the blueprint, but you're the one doing it, not me. Because she's the brains. He's the power. So that's why I just don't see it. I really don't see it. I think she planned it. I really do. I think she planned it to the T. And I think that the reason it fell through is because Chris is an idiot and he didn't follow her plan to the T. I don't think she's thinking rationally when she gets angry. I think NK is an energy vampire. She wanted to do it herself. Huh. Oh, wow. Really? You guys think she has another side that we haven't seen? What? What in the world? Really? Oh my God. Okay, we're split, you guys. We're so split. We're split almost down the middle. Some of you think, yes, she killed both, and then others are like, no, she just planned it. Oh my God. Oh man. Holy. Okay, I think Cece was dead in the truck because she was too active to just sit there. See, I understand that. I totally get it. Did she really try to? Yeah. See, I think yes. And okay, so if we're gonna take Nicole Kessinger's history, she did try to stab someone, but I don't know. Would she do it again? I mean, sure, I guess, sure, yeah, of course. I don't know. I don't think so. I still don't think so. Oh my God, super chat. Oh, I missed it. Oh no, where did it go? Where did it go? Did I miss it? I think I missed it. Wait, where did it go? Oh, here it is. Eileen, thank you so much. Thank you so much for a super chat. Oh my goodness. Thank you. Don't let AI get this. Yeah, exactly, right? Oh, yeah, of course not. Yeah, that's why I have rabbit hole rocks fucking all over this thing, right? Once I started seeing that AI was stealing my content, I'm like, oh no, I need to mark this shit, right? The same way that Nicole Kessinger marked Chris. She just sprayed him like a skunk. She's like, you're mine now, Chris. Yeah, that's what I need to do to my live streams. Okay, so this is the thing. There was so much wilderness between home and Servi that if he had taken the Lexus, he could have dumped them, never to be found. There was so much between home and Servi. If he had taken them, if he had taken the Lexus, he could have dumped them, never to be found. I don't know. If he had taken the Lexus, that means that, yeah, they would have followed the Lexus and not the truck, right? I don't know either. We're all speculating. Exactly. Yeah, we're all speculating here, you guys. We're just brainstorming here. NK was the mastermind in the cleanup. I believe. Yep, exactly. I agree, Eric. I agree that she's the mastermind and she helped clean up, but I don't think that she would get her hands dirty by touching Shanann, Bella, and Cece. I don't see it. Again, guys, I'm open. I'm very open. Okay. I want the truth as much as anybody does. And so I'm open. If there is stuff out there that I need to see that I'm like, oh shit, you're so right. Nicole Kessinger might have done this. Send it my way. But I really, really don't think so. Yeah. And the thing is, there is definitely a misunderstanding when it comes to the wilderness between home and Servi, because that is actually not the case. I think It's not. It's not the case. There's definitely yes, it is remote and it is desolate, but it's not as desolate as people think. I mean, you're still driving through a lot of businesses. You're still driving out through yeah, there's just a lot of people out there. So it's not as wild as people claim to you know that it is. It isn't. It isn't. A lot of people can still see you dump a body. Um and then where would he dump them? So this is why I do believe that the plan was to get rid of them at Survey 319. I know that there are a lot of people that think it's so stupid that he dumped his family at Survey, but I think that when you really think about it, it is actually a foolproof plan. Uh, this is why. Because Chris was going to work that morning. So that means that if he drove the Lexus to dump his family, that means that the truck didn't move from the house, meaning that something in his routine changed that morning, which would have thrown off the police immediately. Everyone knew that he had to go to work. He was expected at work. So he was not going to drive the Lexus anywhere because that is outside of his routine. His routine is going to work and taking the truck. And so, because the truck has GPS on it, it makes sense that he would go straight to work. His alibi was, I went to work. My family was here. I don't know where they went. So if they were to check his truck and they saw, oh, okay, well, where did you go? They would check his GPS and they would see that he went to work because that's exactly what he said he was going to do. He went to Survey 319. He didn't lie about it. If he had taken his truck and then deviated and had gone to, I don't know, the Rocky Mountains, for example, the GPS would have tracked him there. Again, it's outside of his routine. Where is he going? Police would have been on it like flies on shit. Same here. Same here. There's no way that he would drive the Lexus to dump his family on a work morning. What would be the reason for Chris not going into work and instead driving the truck or driving the Lexus and then dropping off his family somewhere else? It is outside of his routine. There's so much going on here with this crimes and the players. Yeah. Nicole Kessinger is diabolical. Let's see. He was parking the Lexus outside when Shanann was gone for no reason. Maybe he was practicing for something that didn't happen. Okay, this was early in the morning. The girls were scared. Why is it doing that? Okay, Shanann's body was laying on the floorboard of the truck beneath their feet. Yes. Plus the gasoline and the lighter. Right. They're going to get rid of the Survey 319, and he knew that. Yeah, that's true too. Exactly, Julie. I agree with you. They were going to decommission 319, and so I think that both Nicole Kessinger and Chris knew that they were going to decommission 319. And so for that reason too, I think that they knew that the perfect place to dump bodies would be at a place that was going to get decommissioned. The oil would have dissolved all fingerprints. Okay, yeah, I definitely see that. NK removed. I think that he was going to make it look like Shanann killed the kids and herself. Yeah, I love hearing everyone's opinions because there are nuggets that we can all learn and put together. Yeah, exactly. How each other. Yeah, exactly. Oh, thank you so much, Arizona's Adventures. And to hand out to the girls. Yeah, so little. Yeah, they're so little. Kind of, sort of. Can't imagine Chris putting up with the crying for almost 2 hours. Right. I mean, he did say that they weren't crying, though. I don't think they were crying. When he tells the story about him driving to Survey 319 with his kids, he's saying that they were kind of just leaning on each other. They weren't crying. They were kind of just very, very quiet. Again, if we do believe Chris's story, he's saying that they were a little bit out of it because he already tried to smother them. So imagine a 3 and a 4-year-old. They're so confused. They don't have no idea what's going on. They have been taken out of their routine. They've been woken up at 4 a.m. Chris is putting them in their work truck, right? They're like, what the hell? We've never even been in this work truck. They're confused because their mother is on the floorboards, right? On the floor of the truck. I don't really imagine that they'd be crying. They were in shock. if anything. Okay, the girls weren't crying. Yeah, they were hugging each other. I think Chris thought that he'd be able to come home and stage whatever else he had to. Yes, yes, yes. Lots of good points here, guys. Lots of good points. Because they were dead. Okay, you guys. Oh, okay. So they weren't crying because you guys think they were dead. Okay, let's go ahead and see this. Do you think NK would get her hands dirty by harming children directly? Look, 39% said yes, she killed one or both. Man. No, she just planned it is 35%. She helped carry them. And then no inclination. NK was supposed to drive the Lexus, so the camera would pick up the Lexus after Chris Watts went to work. Right, yeah, exactly, in my thoughts. I believe NK was there and snuck out of the back when NA got there. If he had successfully spoofed Shanann's phone, they would necessarily have not known. Was that Serby alone? Okay, guys, yeah, you guys have so much good insight. Oh my goodness. They were gone at the house before he left, is my belief. Okay, and it takes what, 2 hours? Okay, so let's say he left at 5:48. 6:53 he got there. Okay. That's almost 2 hours. Okay, and then rigor mortis starts to set in around 2 hours later. So with the girls, okay, so again, this is just me thinking out loud. If he killed the girls that morning, then that means that rigor mortis would have already set in by the time he got to Survey 319. So that means that their bodies wouldn't have been as mobile either, right? So if he's trying to cram his children into these 8-inch holes, and with rigor mortis already setting in, I think it would be a lot harder to be able to move their arms and be able to, maneuver, right, and like move their bodies in there to put them in there. And this is why I also believe that he murdered his children at Survey 319. I believe him. I believe him when he says that, because I think that it also just makes a lot of sense that they would be fresh so that you can put them in the holes a lot easier. As evil as that is. All right, guys, let's continue. We're almost done.
Did you get a card or anything?
For the detective, yes.
Okay, so there's a dispatch number on there.
Okay.
If you hear anything from her, call that number and let us know, and it'll just go straight to our dispatch, and then an officer will call you right back.
Okay.
That way, our main concern is to make sure she's okay and the kids are okay. So, if you hear a peep from her, just call us, and we'll call you, or leave us a contact number to reach her so we can talk to her.
Okay.
What's your date of birth?
5/16/95.
What's that?
5/16/95.
85?
Yes.
What's the phone number for you?
Do you want my card or anything?
I'll take it.
Okay. And I'll just underline that number.
Yeah, I mean, you're selling double glazing. Oh, yeah, I'll take your card. But it's not as if you're going to go and rescue and find my family, is it? Do you see the problem with that? It's the reticence to even take his card when this is the guy who can help you find your own family. There's a disconnect. It's because he's guilty.
Just call that number, someone will answer that phone 24/7.
Okay.
So,
Sweet.
and then just leave your contact info and an officer will call you right back. Okay?
Awesome. Thank you.
All right, thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, let's go back to the analysis. Where did we get to? Yeah, the tools.
Okay, I'm just looking at the chat. Goodness, you guys have so much good stuff here. Okay, let's go ahead and end the last poll. The last poll, we got 88 votes. Do you think NK would get her hands dirty? Look at that. 39% of you said yes. Oh my God. What am I not seeing? Am I just not seeing it? Again, like I said, guys, I'm open. I don't see it. I don't see it. I don't see it. I don't think that I don't know. Huh. Okay. So oh, this is a good question, Tanya. Do you guys think Bella would not cry due to Chris Watts attempting to kill Shanann before? What do we think? Yeah. Oh, yeah, exactly. Why, no? Why? Question. Is that because of the I think you've already been asked this before. Why, no? Is it because of Nicole Kessinger? I doubt it, right? I don't think so. Okay, the crime doesn't make sense. That's why we're here. Exactly, Debbie. None of this shit makes sense. That's why we're still here. Okay. Let's go ahead and ask the other question. Okay. Do you think Huh. Yes. Okay, so the question is going to be, do you think a 4-year-old would cry the whole way to Zerby? I've never even thought about this. And again, it's because I do tend to believe Chris when he told his story because it is just so evil, and I do believe it. But I always believed that the reason that the girls weren't crying is because they are in shock. They don't know what's happening. So if they don't really know what's happening and they don't know that their mother is dead because they might not fully understand the concept of death, I think that it's mostly shock. And if it's not shock, it's probably because they were smothered before and they're not all there. Okay, let's go ahead and ask this question. Okay, so yes. Okay. Okay. And then what's the other one? No. No inclination. Okay. Oh, I forgot the S. Okay. Oh, that's why I didn't put it. Stupid. Okay, it doesn't give me enough characters. That's dumb. Okay, let's go ahead and start this. Okay. Let's go ahead and start this poll. Okay. Do you think a 4-year-old would cry the whole way to Zerby? Yes, because she knew what was happening. No, because she was in shock. No, because she didn't fully understand what was happening. So it's almost like in shock. But okay, the difference between the shock and so B and C is one, she's in shock because she's like, what the fuck is happening? The other one is she's confused because she doesn't really understand what's going on. And then the last one is no inclination. Absolutely. Yeah, they were definitely very, very smart girls. Very, very smart. But as a 4-year-old, I mean, I put myself as a 4-year-old. I remember when I was 4. I remember when I was 5 even. And here, a question to all of you. Did you guys understand the concept of death as a 4-year-old? Maybe your pet goldfish died and it got flushed right before your eyes. Did you understand, though, that goldfish is never going to come back? And if you do understand that, but there is a person laying in front of you, and that's your mother, that hasn't been flushed down the toilet, right? Like a goldfish would be. Would a 4-year-old understand that their mom is deceased in the way that she's never coming back? Like, does she understand that there was danger? I believe that she felt danger, right? She felt like something is off. Something isn't right here. But do we believe that she understood what was going on. What do you guys think? Hmm. I would definitely know my mommy wasn't acting right, laying on the floor. Right, right, right. Imagine, children at 4 don't truly understand death developmentally. Yeah, I think so too. I don't remember, but I remember unsettling feelings of not being right. Exactly, right? Yeah, you feel it. So the thing is, of course, right? She's a human being. She's a human being. And every single human being has defense mechanisms, right? We have survival instincts. And so I think that she was either shocked or confused or both because she is, again, she has been taken out of her routine, which is waking up every morning, getting your backpack set up. This is what's going on. You're going to go to school. Daddy's going to pick you up. Mommy's going to do this. All of a sudden, this morning is completely different. Bella is seeing Chris take Shanann's body, carry her down the stairs, put her in the back seat of the truck, and she's laying down. And if it's true that they're asking what's wrong with mommy, that means that they're not fully understanding what is wrong with mommy. They're just seeing that she's not talking to them, right? She's just seeing that she's not walking, she's not acting like herself, she's just laying there. But did they know that there's danger afoot? I think they felt the danger, but I don't think they understood what was actually happening. Again, this is just me though. That's why I want to see what you guys think. Yeah, he said that they smelled. Yeah, exactly. I'm a crazy. Yeah, he said that they said that it smelled bad in the truck. Is there a possibility they were affected by Chris Watts trying to unalive before? Yes, I believe that. I believe that they may have been affected by it. Bella understood death because of Cece's allergy. Yeah, right. And to your point, Boops, I think that she understood what she was being told, but would she understand it if she saw it? Right? And I definitely see that, right? So if Bella has been told, "Hey, you can't give this to your sister because your sister might go away forever." And so she's like, "Oh, I don't want that to happen." Right? Like I love my sister. I want my sister to stay here. But would she understand if it actually happened? Again, I don't know, right? I don't know. Yeah, don't take her away. A lot of growth and development happens between from 4 to 5. And the girls are not in their car seats. That's unusual. Exactly, Soily Blue. Yeah, great point. It's unusual that they're not sitting in their car seats. A lot of things are different this morning, so I think they're just really confused. And so that is why I don't think that they would be crying. Because they're so confused by what's going on and they're in shock that I don't think that they're going to be crying because they know that their mom is dead. I really don't. I wouldn't be, yeah, exactly. I wouldn't be surprised if the girls fell asleep. That's a long car ride in the morning. Yeah, it really is. They were scared of Chris because he had already tried to smother them. But if he tried to smother them in their sleep, then they wouldn't know that Chris tried to smother them. Right? If they're sleeping and then Chris comes into their room and tries to smother them, they wouldn't know what happened. They just wake up and they're like, "Oh, what is going on?" Right, exactly. Smart survival. And so exactly, right? So she saw it though, right? She saw Chris do the same thing to Cece, but Bella didn't ask, "Are you going to kill me the same way you just killed Cece and my mom?" Right? She's saying, "Are you going to do to me the same thing that you just did to Cece?" Right? So she is understanding that something is going on with mom and with Cece. She saw Chris put a blanket over her head, over her face, and now Cece is not moving. So she's like, "Hold on. Are you going to do the same thing that you just did to her to me?" So she's definitely sensing danger. I'm not saying that she's not sensing danger. What I'm asking is, were they crying in the backseat of the truck knowing that there's danger afoot? That is my question. Okay. What? Alibi side eye? What do you mean? I feel that they saw as a huh? Okay. Yeah, but who can believe what Chris says? Again, guys, I mean, he does say some truths. The thing is, yeah, Chris lies, but he doesn't lie all the time. I mean, he told a lot of truths. He told everybody where the girls were. He told them how he put them in there, right? The thing is, yeah, Chris lies, but which ones are lies and which ones are truths? Because I still think that he's telling the truth in a lot of these stories. Um, can you imagine their confusion, how disoriented they must have felt on their way out there? And so true, Bella might have not known the permanence of what she was witnessing. Yeah, they did on the witch's holiday what they needed to feed a sacrifice. Okay. Hmm. Okay, guys. Okay, we're almost done. I do want to finish this part because he's going to get into a little bit of the analysis here. We might not do the whole thing, but I do just want to get through some of these analysis as well.
So people alibi build. We didn't need to know all about his tools, did we? And his priority, if his wife and children are missing, is to find them, not to explain all about his tools.
Hmm.
Yeah, who picked that up? The
Hmm.
separation thing.
Hmm.
The separation thing.
Yeah, I did it 3 times, the separation thing. Yeah, he talks about the separation thing because it's not really happening. He's like, "Oh, yeah, we talked about the separation thing. What separation thing?" If you're really divorcing, you're gonna say, "Oh, yeah, we were talking about the divorce. We're talking about the separation." But no, he says the separation thing. Are you going to put me in the tank like Cece? Right, yeah, okay. So, I think we're getting I think we're yeah, I think we're getting to the bottom of it, you guys. Yeah, I agree with you, Britt. I don't think that they were screaming, crying because yeah, I just don't. You know, if Chris is driving out there for how many hours, right? Or like almost an hour, 45 to 48 minutes, I don't think that they were crying and screaming for 45 minutes straight. And if they did cry, it was a very it was quiet. And I do believe when he says that they were kind of just like making sounds, right? Or they were kind of just leaning on each other. I do believe it. I do believe it. Now, I know the man is a liar. I know. But he has told a lot of truths too, though. Okay, what else? No, they lost oxygen to the brain. Exactly. Yeah. And if he did try to smother them, they lost oxygen to the brain. He does say himself that when he saw his girls get back up, they didn't look all there. He says that he's like, "Oh yeah, they just didn't look all there. They even had like discoloration around their eyes because they weren't getting oxygen into their brains." And so if they wake up and they're like, "What is going on?" right? I mean, on top of being 3 and 4, they were just unsuccessfully smothered. They're not all there. God, this is so fucking evil. Oh my god. But it's important. It's important to understand this because it is part of the story. We have to understand how he drove his children out there, whether dead or alive. How was this man able to do all of this? Maybe they did remember being smothered by Chris. I wouldn't be surprised if Bella lived with a sense of foreboding of this event on her future timeline. They could have been crying here and there for sure. Why wouldn't they? They were out of their routines and mommy under their feet. Right. Yeah, but I don't think they were crying the whole time, right? Not the whole way there, where Chris is like, "Oh, I can't handle this anymore." Um, I think that they were quiet for the most part. Hmm. They did suffer so much. Exactly, Perry. Yeah, they just didn't understand why he was doing that to them because they trusted him. And that again, guys, I think that that is part of the confusion. I think that they're shocked. They're not really fully scared of him yet because they've known him as their dad. And so, if this man is their dad, and then all of a sudden he's completely different, they're going to be like, what the hell is happening? Again, these are the things that go through my head, you guys. I'm just asking you guys what you think, especially for everyone who has children. If you guys have kids, right? Your perspective is very important here because I want to know. I want to know. Like, I know it's very hard to think about this because it's just so vile, but I mean, we have to put this into perspective. Ay, ay, ay. They were babies. All right, guys, let's continue. We're almost done. We're almost done.
Yeah.
With the kids.
Always look for distancing and separating. He does this quite a lot on the porch as well. And of course, if we go deeper into the analysis, which we always can, and we do sometimes on some of the Veroscopes, the separation could be argued because the bodies were separated. These things, of course, we'll never know, so we would note them as a possibility. And things like leakage would go into the same sort of unsupported possibilities.
Yeah, exactly. Benjamin, I agree with you. They would still have completely trusted their father, especially since Chris had no history of doing anything bad before. I agree with you. I agree with you. I mean, that's why Shanann trusted him too. And Shanann's an adult. Shanann went home that morning. She was dropped off by her friend, Nicole Atkinson, and she walked into the home not knowing what was awaiting her, right? She did not know that she was not going to leave that home alive. She trusted the man that she married. Even after all of the gaslighting and all the bullshit that he had been doing to her for the past month, she still trusted him. Oh my God. This is so, oh. I'd be confused as a child and not think for a second my dad would hurt me. Yeah, he gaslit everyone. Exactly. Except for Nicole Kessinger. Another thing is that Chris Watts tried to be cautioned and not risk the kid without set in case someone reported him driving the babies. Therefore, I think that they were dead already. Oh, okay, Maria. Yeah, I see that. I definitely see that logic there. In case she wouldn't have gotten Chris if she knows Shanann was pregnant. They had 2 children and 3. It would make a difference. Diabolical for both of them. Didn't she say in the text message to someone she didn't feel safe around him? Yeah, she did. She did. And she said that because Chris said that he didn't want the baby anymore. So she said, she did text a friend and said, yeah, I don't really feel safe around him because he doesn't want the baby anymore. And she also changed her password. So yeah, there's a possibility that she already didn't trust him, but yet she still went home. Right? She still went inside the house. She didn't think that Chris would do anything to her, and he still did. So even if you have suspicions, or even if your body is telling you things, you know this person, right? I mean, she knew her husband, right? In her own way, she knew him. And even though she didn't really trust him and she didn't really feel all that safe, she never suspected that he would kill her. Same with the babies. I mean, I don't think Bella and Celeste ever imagined that their dad would do this to them. Ugh, God. Yeah, she changed her password. All right, guys, let's continue.
And the reason why we find the unsupported possibilities is because so often
Oh, I
why
wanted
we
to see that part.
find
Okay, right here. Okay, I want to read this part. So it says Watts twice grammatically separated his daughters from their own mother inside the sentence that was supposed to describe them leaving together. This has a terrible correspondence to what actually happened. When the search ended, Shanann was in a shallow grave at the oil site. Bella and Cece were in separate crude oil tanks. The children were physically separated from their mother in the real world. Oh, you guys can't see it. Oh, goodness. This sucks. Okay, there we go. Can you guys see it now? There we go. Okay, so it says their mother was physically separated in the real world. The day before, in his own language, he had already separated them. Huh. I think she went back only for Bella and Cece, not him. I mean, she still definitely went back for him, though. I mean, she planned an entire trip to Aspen the following weekend. She bought a book. She's telling him, hey, read this book so that we can work on our marriage. She's asking him, hey, what do you want for dinner tomorrow? She asked him, what veggies do you want? Chris says, green beans. See, all of this, even though Shanann felt some danger or she felt that she can't really trust him anymore, she's still doing a lot of things that shows that she is willing to continue to stay in this relationship with him. Anyways, guys, oh my God, we have a lot of good stuff here. Wow. Okay. Let's see. Not after in case say that. Blah, blah, blah. Oh my God, my brain. Okay. All right, guys, let's go ahead and end this poll. Very, very good. Oh my God. You guys, you have such good insight. Oh my God. All right. Do you think a 4-year-old would cry the whole way to Survey? Yes. 41% say yes. She knew what was happening. No, she didn't understand what was happening. No, she was in shock. And then no inclination. She wasn't throwing away her marriage that easily. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Shanann was not about to give up that easily. She was not about to give up. I mean, everything that we've seen, she has shown that she was really trying to work on that marriage, even though Chris was already an absolute piece of shit, right? He was already treating her like crap, lying to her, gaslighting her, saying all this BS. Oh my goodness. I wonder if she taught Bella to call 911. I always think about Shanann's mental health when Shanann mom told NA to check the knives when NA was at the house. Oh. I talked about everywhere that them are narcissists. Yeah. Oh man. Okay. I think that's it. There was another part here. Oh, this is the part I want to show you guys. Okay, so we're almost done. We're almost done. I just want to see this part. Why the my matters.
personal pronouns.
Yeah, okay, so my is the smallest word of belonging. It says this person is connected to me. The connection still exists. Children learn my before they can tell a proper story. Watts produced my feely objects that he still owned, his truck, his wrenches, his water jug, but he did not produce my for the people that he had been his wife and his children. Because by that time he was standing in the kitchen, they were no longer his, and he knew it, and his grandma knew it. And this is important because the thing is that Chris had already been talking this way already. Every time that we see the text messages between him and Shanann, he's already saying those girls, the kids, that, then the other. He's not saying my kids, he's not saying my girls, he's not saying my wife. He's already saying them and those, which points, again, it points to the idea that he was already premeditating this, right? He was already planning this way ahead of time. So, because of that, it leads me to believe that he was already not only planning to murder his family, but the disposal is the most important part, because a missing person is only missing until the body is found. Once the body is found, a missing person's case goes from being missing person to murder. So the best way to keep somebody missing is to hide their bodies so well that they are never found. The only real thing that you can do is use circumstantial evidence to bring this case and say that, yes, this man murdered his family. The only way to really say that he murdered his family is by having bodies. And so, if he's already distancing himself way ahead of time via the text that we've seen in Discovery, then that leads me to believe that he was already planning not just their murders, but where he was going to dispose of them. Because that, again, it is the most important part of an entire murder is getting rid of the bodies. Murdering is just, you just murder, right? Either stab, strangle, whatever you do. Don't do it. But the disposal of the bodies is the most important thing, in my opinion, because you have to hide what you just did. And so again, none of this shows that it was in the spur of the moment or that he snapped, because he didn't. He was very clearly planning this. Yeah. I don't know how long their bodies would have lasted in those tanks. Ugh. Anyways, guys. All right, but that is all I have for you guys today. That is all I have. Thank you all so, so much for joining today's live stream. This was such a good live stream. I'm so glad that all of you are in here, with your opinions, your theories, and your experiences as well. So thank you all so, so much. And of course, a special thanks to my moderators. You guys are amazing. Love the work that you do. Oh my God, K-Hal. Oh, thank you so much. Thank you so much for the super chat. Here, let's go ahead. I don't know why it's not liking it. Oh, there we go. Thank you so much. I appreciate you. Aw, thank you guys so much. Okay, and then before we go, I do also want to thank everybody with the jewels. Oh, look at this. I also missed this one. With Nutgate, Chris Watts said Bella hid behind curtains. Oh. Huh, okay. Okay. All right, guys. I just want to thank you all so much. Eileen, here we go. Okay, so Carolette, thank you so much. Eileen, thank you so much. Arizona's Adventures, thank you. If you like pina coladas, thank you so much for the super chat. And K Health, thank you so much. Thank you guys so, so much. I appreciate you all. And Skyline, thank you so much for the jewels. I know I've seen more. Where's the other ones? Did they all like disappear? Where did they go? They used to all be up here. I know I saw more coming in because I just kept seeing the little purple thing. So, hmm. Yeah, sorry if I didn't call you out because I didn't see it. I can't find it. I can't find it. Okay, but thank you guys so much. Question: if he didn't plan to kill the girls, why did he text coworker about 3:19 on Sunday night at 7 p.m.? Why would he then wait until the next day to do it under a time crunch? If he didn't plan to kill his girls, why did he text a coworker? Wait, what do you mean? What do you mean? He definitely, he planned to kill his girls. I think, right? He planned to kill everybody. Why would he text a coworker about 3:19 on Sunday night at 7 p.m.? And then why wouldn't he wait until the next day to do it under a time crunch? I don't know. That's a good. I don't know. I don't know if I really understand your question. If he didn't plan to kill his girls, did he text a coworker about 3:19 on Sunday night at 7 p.m.? Why would he then wait until the next day? I'm not sure. But we are gonna have another live stream. Yeah, we'll have another one tomorrow, right? On Thursday. Tomorrow's Thursday, right? Oh my God, time flies. Okay. All right, guys. Yeah, thank you guys so much. You have all of you have so many good questions and insight and opinions and everything. Thank you all so much for being here. Thank you all. Take care. Like I said, thank you to everybody. Thank you to my subscribers. And yes. If you like this live stream, please, and if you haven't done so already, go ahead and subscribe. It is free. Every time that you guys subscribe or share or like or comment, that tells the greedy people at YouTube that my content is somehow good enough to be spread out to other people in the algorithms. And so when you interact and you do all the stuff, YouTube and high and mighty, all powerful greed at the very top, they're like, oh my God, I think this content creator is doing a good job. Let's go ahead and give her some more visibility. And so let's go ahead and hope that it does. If not, then I guess they can just keep suppressing me, but I'm not going anywhere. I'm not going anywhere. There's no way. There's no way. I already started this and I'm not going anywhere, even if YouTube forces me. I'll be right back. So yeah, guys, thank you so much. And for everybody who is asking about Twitch, it is not up yet. I'm not done. I have to figure out how Twitch works in the first place, and so I haven't created an account yet. But I will let you know when I have an account ready, and I'll let you know when I have a schedule for Twitch. And we'll also be live streaming there, but we'll also be live streaming on YouTube. So again, I'm not going anywhere. I'm just going to spread myself into other platforms so that I don't disappear. All right, guys. Thank you guys so much. Take care. And I'll see you guys next time. Bye, guys. Bye, everybody. Thank you so much.